Good morning. It is 8:38 on a Thursday. We're very excited about the show that we have going on today. We have two council members from the city of Lamarck that are talking about some amazing programs that they have been either a part of or started or they're taking to the next level. So these are people that are plugged in the community. We want to hear what's going on in the community, and it's going to be an exciting show today.
Yeah, I'm excited to be talking to I think two of the most influential council members on that staff, on the city of Lamarck staff. But there's four. So we need to get the other two in as well. It's
funny hearing you talk about things that I feel like you don't fully understand. And I'm the same way because they're just like the staff. I don't understand it either.
I don't.
I don't understand it either. But either way, we're going to be learning about what that entails today. I know there's one that has to do with food.
Yes, the Okra Fest that is taking place in Galveston will be happening at the 10 o'clock hour. And then we're talking about like teen businesses. And we had a fun time talking about teen businesses kind of yesterday when we were at Alex's and how important it is that these kids are able to kind of learn how to do business.
Keep going. Keep explaining.
That's it.
I'm enjoying this.
That's it.
Yeah. Explain to me how city council works.
They vote.
That is true.
See,
I like that.
So
there's the Teen Biz Camp. That's Councilman Chris Lane. He's going to be in talking about it. And there's some really cool things going on in Lamarck, and we like to spotlight them. And I was sharing some people some visions that we had as KHEA, how we can help. And people are like, you need to get hooked up with Chris Lane.
Because apparently he's already doing it.
He's doing some cool stuff. And it also turns out me and Chris Lane, we go back. Like, we go way back to whenever we were kids. He's from Lamarck, as well. And I grew up in Lamarck. So I was like, man, what you been up to? He's been doing everything.
Best friends.
Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. My name is Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
It's 8:40 on a Thursday morning, and we are excited because we have an awesome show for you today. If you're watching on Facebook, do us a huge favor. Smash the share button. Hit it so hard it cracks your phone screen. Maybe your computer mouse is like dead, and you're just like, if I push it harder, maybe it'll work.
Why should somebody share?
They should share because I asked them to. Just out of a solid favor to me. I would appreciate that.
Ooh, influence.
And we're spreading positivity. That's the goal. That's what we try and do every day. And we want to share cool things going on in the community. Even if we never spread anything else positive, I feel like the guest today would be enough of a reason to share because they are doing some really cool things.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about the Galveston farmers market. They're putting on an Okra Fest that's taking place August 3rd, so that's at 10 o'clock. And then at 9 o'clock, we're talking to Chris Lane about a teen biz camp and everything that entails.
Do you like okra?
I don't know if I've ever had okra before.
Yeah, fried okra is delicious. It's like, it comes in a little ball, but it looks like like a little fried little nugget. If you had it with like French fries and like okra or like catfish, fried food like that, it would just go hand in hand.
Was it at like Long John Silver's? Is that one of the menu items that they used to have? Because I feel like maybe my dad used to order it, but I have never had it. I don't think.
I don't know. I haven't been to Long John Silver's since they closed down the one on 96 and built a Taco Bell there instead.
So in Nebraska, where I grew up, because seafood isn't really like a thing because there is no like bodies of water where you can get seafood, so they have to ship it there. So I think we had two options for seafood.
Yeah.
It was Long John Silver's.
Captain D's?
No. And Red Lobster.
That's cool.
And Red Lobster was too important, like too expensive for the Casper family to
go to Red Lobster?
No, and I didn't. As a kid, I didn't want to eat at Red Lobster. So it's like my parents are like, "Well, we're gonna spend $12 for you to have a hamburger. We can just go down to McDonald's if we wanted to."
That's true. Hey, something else I wanted to touch on before we got into everything. So this is my in-body composition. I see Billy Jones, the owner of the Iron Den Gym in League City. So I've been doing this challenge, and I did another weigh-in today, and here are some results that I've gotten so far. But if you want to see like if there's been any transformation, if I've gained weight, lost weight, got stronger, maybe I got weaker, Curt, I'm not talking to you. I'm not handing you this paper.
Really?
Can you read this?
I can't see it.
It's just a bunch of numbers, and I feel like it takes a little bit more time and analysis than just like a quick read.
Listen, I can tell you.
It's like
just by just looking at it, I can tell you if you've done better or worse.
Oh wow. That's great. That's really impressive. I'm not handing this to you. But anyways, tomorrow morning we're going to be dropping the first video in a series called In the Den, where we're talking about Power Fit Meals and the Iron Den in League City. It's a local business. It's doing some cool things, and we want to show a spotlight on what they have going on. I want to bring Billy back in studio. I want to bring my Power Fit Meals back in studio too, so we can kind of talk about the process as these videos roll out. What do you think?
That'd be great. I'm down. So you got 6 videos. Can you kind of give us a little teaser on the videos and what they consist of?
Yes, it's me at the Iron Den and eating food.
That's it.
That's the general
for 6
analysis. Pretty
Guys,
much.
Get excited. Get excited about this.
It's going to be great. Yeah. So here's the interesting thing. Whenever you are doing something that is an activity and you're trying to record it yourself, but not trying to get other people in your videos, it makes it challenging, but we're always up for a challenge. It's fun, and there's a lot of cool stuff going on. You've maybe seen some of the Iron Den's posts on social media. I think they're awesome. Some of them are funny, some of them are serious, but the cool thing that I like is the results that they share. So if you haven't followed them, check out the Iron Den, because they share like, hey, this is this person's story. They started in 6 weeks. It jumpstart their life, and it changed everything around. They lost either a ton of weight or gain muscle or gain confidence. There's a lot that can go into just making a little change like that. It goes a long way in life.
Yeah, hopefully the next challenge you do will be a lot easier the next time too, because once you do one, the next time's a whole lot easier. It's kind of like when we did the 21-day cleanse with Dr. Choppa, right?
Except that's not fun at all.
No.
Like I don't it's not fun for me, and maybe that's fun for somebody else, but man, I just see, that's why I wanted to do a different kind of challenge. I was like, I'd rather like work out and do something like that where you can see results and not just eat vegetables consistently.
But you saw results after doing the 21-day cleanse.
Not results I wanted. I got weaker. That's literally what happened. I got skinny, but I'm just like, I felt like I was, I don't know, just like really weak. It just wasn't.
It wasn't what suited your type of working out.
There wasn't working out at all. I mean, I tried to work out, but it's just like, well, I used to could lift this weight, and now I can't. I'm just like weak. But apparently my insides were, I guess, better. Yeah. What about you?
I don't work out.
Well, I know that, obviously, but I'm talking about the detox.
Yeah, so the second time was easier.
Was it?
Yes.
It was like the same.
For me, it was easier to do because you knew kind of, when you first started out doing the cleanse, you're figuring out, okay, what meals can I cook and anything else like that. So for me, it was a lot easier.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Hey, I guess it's Pierre's birthday. What's up, Pierre? Pierre Castillo, Top Star Marketing. He said maybe give your boy Pierre a birthday shout out. Absolutely. Happy birthday, Pierre. We appreciate you, man. How old do you think Pierre is? 27? 28?
Do we say?
I don't know. It's a guess. I really don't know how old Pierre is.
Can you tell us how old you are?
If you're still watching, let us know how old you are. So happy birthday, Pierre. I feel like you're a young man, and you've done a lot in a short time, and we're excited to see as our careers continue to grow together, because you're awesome, doing some cool stuff. That women's conference is coming up later this year.
Yeah, it's going to be in October. I think it's the day before, October 11th, the day before our Talk of Taco cook-off.
It is. Yeah, it is. And that's whenever we met Pierre for the first time last year. We also met Christina Wells for the first time that last year as well. But, yeah, shout out to you, Pierre. So it's 8:46. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM.
We are still giving away a surfboard and a guitar. If you don't know what we're talking about, that is a video on our Facebook page. It's through Rice Surf Company, which is located in Texas City. It's on 6th Street. It's on the north side of 9th Avenue. So you can go and check out Rice Surf Company, and it's we're giving away a surfboard and a guitar.
Okay, yeah, that's over on 6th Street, right?
Yeah, it's on 6th Street.
Okay. There's a lot going on 6th Street in Texas City.
Yeah, they got the farmers, or it's not a farmers market, it's a food truck market, I guess, that they do every morning. That's where a Bronco Burrito is. And so you can go check it out. They're growing 6th Street in Texas City a lot.
Yeah, and it's Rise Surf. They also have T-shirts. That was pretty neat. We went in there, and it was like a little like a boutique or a shop, but for like for skateboarders or maybe like a style like that, even if you don't skate or surf, you can just pick up a shirt and support a local business that has been doing some cool things. I think they're maybe moving or opening a second location. I'm not sure because they were talking a little bit about that whenever we were there.
And that was like a month or two ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a while back.
So you've been hanging on to that guitar.
I've been jamming it, and it plays wonderfully.
So we're going to be giving that away next week. Also dropping next week, we finally got approval from the Chick-fil-A that says that we can give away our year supply of Chick-fil-A to the League City Town Center location. So we're super excited about that. That video is going to be dropping next week.
Yeah, the interesting thing about that is the prize has been sitting in our studio, and maybe I just like whistle blew and let everybody know, like, wow, KHEA has a year's worth of Chick-fil-A, actually more, because we have some individual cards from them and some other places. We have a year's worth of Chick-fil-A sitting in our studio, and people are going to start banging on our doors, knocking, asking if they can come in, and busting the window out so they can get a piece of the pie. So if you are a fan of Chick-fil-A, make sure you stay tuned to KHEA Radio's Facebook page because we're going to be giving that away, and it could be to you.
Yeah, so it's sitting over here.
It is, yes. I know exactly where it is. I can see it. Well, actually, I can't with the computer, but
please don't come
I can
steal
imagine.
it.
If I had X-ray vision, I'd be able to look and see that it's over there. But we want to hear from you. What are you up to? What are you up to today? I know Facebook is being a little silly, giving us some issues, but we are broadcasting live on 99.5 FM and on our KHEA radio app. If you don't have it, go download the app. Search KHEA in the Google Play Store. If you have an iPhone, go search in the App Store. You can just search KHEA and it pops up. But we want to hear, if you are watching on Facebook, what are you up to today? And if you are listening on your car's radio, if you're in the stereo, maybe you're listening at work. I know there's a local nail salon that we get some love from. Shout out to you for listening to us this morning. But send us a text, 346-704-1806. What do you have going on today? It's Friday Junior. Already getting ready for the weekend, and I know y'all all have some really cool plans.
You know, there are a lot of cool things happening this week. You know, it is the 50th anniversary of the lunar moon landing when Neil Armstrong stepped out of the shuttle and landed onto the moon. They're going to be doing a lot of celebrating. There's going to be some bands and stuff, a big celebration taking place this weekend on Saturday night, July 20th. It's kind of the 50th year since they landed. You know, at this point, you know, they took off on the 16th. So that was 50 years since they took off on the 16th. And right now, 50 years ago, they were traveling to the moon and just getting ready to land on Saturday. So there's some events taking place at the Space Center Houston tonight. There's some taking place tomorrow night. And then also Saturday's the big celebration.
Yeah, that's a fun time. You know, the moon landing. Speaking of the moon landing, I saw one of my Facebook friends say, hey, my husband just told me that the moon landing was a hoax, which, you know, some people believe that. Which
What?
Yeah. You've never heard that?
No, I have. I've heard those stories. I actually got in trouble in middle school, 7th grade. I said something like, yeah, you know, like the moon landing is a hoax. And
did your parents believe that? I feel like from what I've heard from your dad that he was been like, it's not real, son.
No, he was no. I saw it on a documentary, like on TV, like, and it was just
it's real.
And the teacher was like, "That's a 3," and we like lost points. They had like numbers on the wall, and I was like, "I just asked a question on something that I saw on TV," and she goes, "That's a 2." So
Dang.
I just remember that in my head about the moon.
Man, can you imagine if something that we did, obviously not as big as landing on the moon, but if sometime later people are like, that didn't happen, you know, KHEA radio didn't do that, I could see you getting in a fist fight over that. Like, no, yes, KHEA radio actually did do a taco cook-off, and they're like, no, that was all fake. It would be down to like throwing punches, wouldn't it?
Pretty much, yes.
So I understand because I've seen it gets passionate whenever you start talking about stuff like that.
I think, you know, one of the things that I found intriguing about the lunar moon landing and everything else that's taking place this week celebrating the 50th, for me growing up, I didn't grow up in this area, and you did, but I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But people
landing on the moon?
Well, to the point that, like, hey, we're going to celebrate the 50th anniversary. Like, I guarantee you right now in Nebraska, nobody is celebrating. Like, they're not having a big old party. But here in Houston, there is, So that's what I think is unique is I don't, for me growing up, it wasn't like, hey, I don't remember, we didn't talk about it a whole lot.
Yeah, but you learned about NASA in school, right? Or
we
no?
learned not really NASA, but like space, but it wasn't like, oh, NASA. But I feel like people here like take something pride when you're talking about NASA.
We had an astronaut's wife who like was in outer space in studio the other day. You're not going to get that. People are directly connected to this. Obviously, Johnson Space Center, NASA is right down the street, from us. So we can easily go take a tour or look at the museum. And we probably all know someone who either worked there, was a contractor there, or like a scientist there, or did some kind of work. So it's a bigger deal because we are this area. There's a lot of pride in our area, and there's a lot of stuff going on. And NASA, Johnson Space Center, is a big part of that historically. And celebrating 50 years of a huge event. Can you imagine like how big you celebrate your birthday and how much of a big deal it is to just you? But landing on the moon? 50 years? Come on.
The funniest thing that I remember, or like growing up, my grandpa was actually a TV repairman. And so in 69, it was 69, right? 69. In 69, and he got like a whole bunch of calls that night. Like people's like, hey, my TV's not working. My TV's not working. And he was like, I'm sorry. I'll get to it later, because he wanted to stay and watch the moon landing. It was like that big of a deal to be with his family when this happened, which I thought was intriguing for like, here's a guy that's how he makes his money, and there's a bunch of people trying to get their TVs, which in 69 TVs, were a lot different today, like they had different components and stuff that needed to be repaired. And so for him to have to be like, no, sorry, I'm staying with my family was unique.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's different, but think about it. If there was a person in a space shuttle that went to Mars and they live streamed her, it was only on TV or on the internet. I would want to watch that 100%. You see people getting out of their shuttle or whatever it's called and walking on Mars. That'd be nuts. I'd be down to watch that.
I asked somebody on was it Tuesday night? They were showcasing. It was. Tuesday was when they like took off, and so they had some events at Space Center in Houston, and they were doing some book signings. They were showcasing this movie on PBS called Chasing the Moon, and one of the authors of the book, I asked him, I said, so, for 50 some years, we really, the Apollo program really focused on landing on the moon, and we haven't been back, There's been attempts to go back, in 89, I think President Bush was like, hey, we got to go back. But I asked him, I said, why haven't we gone back? Why should we go back? And he was like, we need to go back. There are a lot of unanswered questions about the moon that we need to go back. I'm like, but what about Mars? And he goes, well, Mars can wait. He's one of those guys who grew up in the Apollo program. Obviously, he worked on the PBS, but he's like, no, we have to go to the moon, which I thought was intriguing to me.
Yeah, let's go back. What are you doing, next Friday? Let's go. Why not? We can. I'll volunteer you, and I guess I'll go along too.
I think it's intriguing. I think of all of the, if you're thinking of future, right? The Earth is great, and we have amazing things on Earth. But how cool would it be to have like people who actually live on the moon for a little bit? We have people who live on the International Space Station, but there could be moon people.
Okay.
It would be fun, to live on the moon.
Okay, I don't want to live on the moon. I'm pretty good here living in Galveston County. If you want to go live on the moon, then I think you have to have a little bit higher of an IQ than 83.
Wow.
Well, it takes a lot to be an astronaut is all I'm saying. You have to be the best of the best.
They let a monkey into space.
Well, he had a high IQ. To be fair, that was a very smart monkey, and he passed all the tests and the requirements and probably the physical capabilities of being able to lift and do whatever you need to do. I mean, I'm sure being in space takes a toll on your body. Whenever you go there, you're probably like totally different when you come back because you're eating like special food. You only have those like orange drinks, the ice cream, the space ice cream of the future.
You can't order Wendy's or McDonald's. Like you can't, DoorDash it to your apartment, you know.
Well, you could try. I could see you being like, "What? Uber Eats doesn't deliver to the moon yet, and I'm on the dark side too."
What's the
Come
Wi-Fi?
on.
What's the Wi-Fi password?
Yeah, what's the Wi-Fi? I'm sure they have Wi-Fi. I mean, if they're satellites, you'd be able to get access to all of that. Right now, it's 8:58. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have Chris Lane talking about the Teen Biz Camp that is taking place. It's going on right now, and we're going to learn all about it. There's some local kids. They're going to be starting businesses. They're going to be able to make a difference in the community. These are the leaders of tomorrow.
Chris better be prepared. I'm kind of a little jealous that Alex's AC got hit up by the little kids, but they have not been coming and knocking on our door asking for sponsorships.
Kurt, just pay them. What, $400? You got that.
I do. I'll pay for it.
All of them.
Kurt Casper, sponsored Teen Biz Camp. Let's go.
The whole thing. I mean, we could set up a special one for you, like maybe even like a $20,000 donation where you help kind of fund the whole program.
Listen, these kids are smart. They're going to have these businesses. If you can get in on the ground level.
Here's what you're going to do. You're going to be like, I want to own 20% of each one of your businesses.
Right?
Come on. Don't be.
This is my investment plan.
This isn't Shark Tank.
This is my investment plan.
You're like, at least one of these kids has to be, they're all smarter than me right now. One of them's going to be a millionaire. The other one's going to be a billionaire. And this one's like the first trillionaire. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. Coming up next is Heartbeat. You can stream us at KHEARadio.com, or better yet, go download the KHEA Radio app, available on every smartphone in the entire world. All you got to do is search KHEA.
Give me your heartbeat, give me heaven. Everything I do.
Jamming.
Dang.
We're going to bring in Chris.
God, I love that song. That's a good song. Can you play it again so I can Shazam it? Hold on, let me get...
The name of the song is literally on the computer.
Yeah, but it's so much
It's
easier.
Elias. His last name's Dummer? Or did Ethan put that in wrong?
Elias.
I don't know, but his last name's Dummer. I would say Dumer. And the song's called Heartbeat, so you can search that and you can check it out.
Just go to music iTunes and search for it.
Hey, Michelle said, let me microblade your brows first before you go to the moon, Kurt. You know, because if you're going to be on the moon, all eyes are on you. You're going to be on television, smartphones, live streaming everywhere. You want your brows to look good, and you're going to probably want to do something about your lashes too.
And makeup, because you got to look good.
Yeah, well, I guess.
You know, because you're going to be doing a lot of TV interviews. Where did he go?
Just go find him. Just like
Go
go down.
hunt for him.
Just be like, Chris.
He showed up, saw what it was, and was like, nah.
I'm not going in there.
And we were talking yesterday about like the illusion of the studio and stuff like that, and potential upgrades.
It's all green screen.
It's all green screen.
This
in
entire
here.
room. Have you all seen Spider-Man Far From Home? It's drones, literally drones with projectors. I'm not even real. Kurt's barely real. Huh?
I say
we're all figments and projections.
I'm a real being. I'm
Yeah.
a real boy.
Is that a frown or a mustache on the little taco? That's a great question. He's happy, but you can't see his face because he has a beautiful mustache. So that's a mustache. He's squishy.
Hey, Pierre just got back in. Can we sing happy birthday to Pierre before Chris
Please.
comes in?
No, we'll just tell him happy birthday, Kurt. I don't want to hear you sing the entire happy birthday song. That's just not.
I'll do it quick.
No,
I'll rap it.
it's not okay.
No.
No, happy birthday, Pierre. How old are you? I said like 28. Actually, I said 27.
Man, you're going to make that boy smile.
Good. I mean, he's a young guy and he has a lot going on, and there's a lot more work to be done. So I know that he is not going to stop till he accomplishes all his goals. But we appreciate you, Pierre. You're the man.
Good morning, Connie. How are you doing? She said, good morning, fellas. And then Michelle said, tell him, Gardy Garcia, all eyes on Kurt. Brows got to be on fleek.
That's what he wants to hear. Like, all eyes on you. Are you if you're watching on Facebook, are you the kind of person who wants like, hey, I want people to know what I'm doing, and I want all eyes on me?
I kind of maybe reached out to Netflix, like on Facebook, and messaged them and said, hey, who do I need to talk to about having a reality show production?
Okay, what did what did they say?
Netflix was like, give us more details. So I'm sending them maybe a reel of Kurt.
So like, this is me getting my brows done. This is me getting my eyebrows
Can
shaved.
you imagine like just us walking around with cameras on us all day? Oh yeah.
Well, part of that already happens. Who was it that was doing some shows to Netflix? We were talking to somebody. Oh, I know. It was Jake. Jake, the MMA fighter, trains. He works out at the Iron
Yeah.
Gym and also trains at Al Garza's Premier Martial Arts, which he is up for like a heavyweight. You okay, Curt?
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
He's up for a heavyweight title, right? So his buddy has like these shows in the works, and they're like negotiating with Netflix. I feel like if we were negotiating with Netflix, we'd be like, we don't really want any money. If you could just like maybe make a donation monthly to KHEARadio.com, then you can publish everything.
I don't want to get paid. Like, seriously, if I was getting, because the money that I would make after the Netflix series is where I want, like.
The tell-all book.
The
outer space trip. The book signing.
Autographing like Johnny Manziel, where it's like, hey, you got to pay me $100 for me to sign something. Like, that's where you make your money. You don't make your money up front from Netflix. It's after Netflix.
Action figures. You try and release your own comic book, and then you do autograph signings.
Dude, stop telling people what I'm going to be doing because this is my plan.
Wow. Vanessa said, or fake it like on Along Came Polly with the fake camera crew. That's a good idea. I've never seen Along Came Polly. Have you seen it?
No.
Is there a camera crew?
We could walk around.
We just get Eldridge.
Eldridge to hold and be like, put a Netflix logo on the back of the camera so it looks like it's Netflix.
But he just has two cell phones, like my cell phone and your cell phone in his hand, and he's just like, and we're like, guys, watch out, camera crew coming through.
But on the back of the phone has the Netflix stickers, and then he's wearing a Netflix shirt. He's like,
it's a white shirt with a red marker, and it just wrote Netflix on it. I feel like it would be a great idea.
We could tell people we're getting filmed by Netflix.
Yeah. Hey, these cameras are nice.
Speaking of, if they think the moon landing happened or not, if we're actually getting filmed by Netflix or not.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's a great comparison, Curt. Last night I was looking on my phone for a wide angle camera lens that you can just like pop on there because I wanted to we had some ideas for some filming in the car.
Yes.
And I feel like a wide angle lens would be ideal if we mounted it in there and then we could, capture the audio and do some other stuff. But
did you get that suction cup thing?
Yeah, I have a suction cup. Yeah, I know. We could put it in the car, but I was just thinking because we did that before and it's like, you almost need a wide angle lens to be able to capture, both seats. So it's
that'd
easy.
be great.
You can buy them for like $20, or you can get like a really like fancy one, and you're spending like $200, but it comes with a special phone case that has like interchangeable stuff. But just ideas. It's 9:05 right now, and we're excited. Hey, Solion said my friend said y'all sound like a good mythical morning. Thank you. Good mythical morning to you too. It's Taco Thursday. You think that's fair? I guess Solion's friends listening with her and said we sound like a good mythical morning.
What's that?
I don't know. Maybe the show, the name of our Netflix series, Good Mythical Morning.
We're just radio guys. Like, I feel like all radio people sound exactly the same. It's just their voice.
That is true. It's just audio.
Right?
We do have some video, though.
Yeah, we're live streaming on Facebook.
Yeah, come on. We're Facebook.
So Chris is outside waiting for somebody.
Okay, he has someone come with him.
I feel like it's one of the people that I'm going to have to sponsor.
You do this to yourself. You're just going to end up like... You're like going in debt. You're gonna have to get a loan. It's gonna be like Scott's Tots. Does anybody watch The Office?
Oh, Scott's Tots. Bernie Sanders.
What about Bernie Sanders?
Somebody I saw on Facebook the other day that they were referring to comparing the two together, and I was like, that's funny. So now every time I think of Scott's Tots, I think of Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, everybody is going to college. To be fair, if student loans were wiped out, I would not be mad, and I'm sure you wouldn't be either.
I'm not going to be mad either, but I feel like it wouldn't apply to us. Like, it'd be like, everybody but Curt and Gardy get their student loans forgiven.
Because he's going to be like, I was watching whenever you made that comparison to Scott's Tots, and that's not going to fly. It's not going to be good. Everybody but Curt Gardy. So there's that. Hey, no. Yeah, student loans are real. That's life. And
can you imagine if I didn't have to pay that every month, like what I could do with that money?
You could
invest into these kids.
That's not what you would be doing with the money.
No, I would be out buying things.
Yeah, you would blow. I mean, not even on anything good. It would be like I'm eating more.
I'm eating more.
Yeah.
You can tell when Curt has money because he looks like he has money.
What does that mean?
You remember back in the day, like in Greece.
I don't remember this.
When, like you knew you had money because you were fat.
I've heard this. I've heard this, yeah.
You know, back in the day, you knew you had money because you could afford food, and so you would eat all the food. And so you were fat. And everyone who didn't have money, you know, was skinny. But now it's...
And probably muscular because they were doing, like, physical labor.
This was my mom's when people would make fun of me when I was a little kid for being fat. These were some of the things that she would say, be like, well, back in the day, you had money when you were fat.
It's like, Mom, we don't live like 500 BC.
So the other one, and I remember this, was
it's
like...
1999!
I remember this one because my dad told me it.
Where's my Game Boy?
He was like... He said, if somebody ever calls you fat or unathletic, just show them your report card and say, well, I'm on the honor roll.
Did you ever do I bet you did do that, didn't you?
One time it didn't go over well. They're like, nerd.
Oh, man. Hey, there's nothing to be ashamed about of being on the honor roll, Kurt. I'm proud of you for making the honor roll.
Yeah, look at me now, Mom. 83 IQ.
And I'm a sign of wealth back in, you know,
when the Greece, yeah,
ancient Greece. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being wealthy and have an A honor roll,
right?
Or was it AB?
A plus B equals C honor roll.
I'm like, Kurt, how old are you? 20 plus 10. Did you make A honor roll? A plus B.
Equals C honor roll. No, I was honor roll until I stopped caring about school.
When was that? Like college?
No, before college. You know, honestly, at one point in high school, I didn't want to go to college.
What'd you want to do? What was your career choice?
I didn't want to go to school.
You just wanted to work at Subway forever?
I guess. I wanted to enjoy life.
You know what? And you could have, I mean, there's nothing wrong with working in a job like that, working at Subway. But the only issue would have been you would have got fired from Subway eventually because you kept eating those cookies and not paying for them, which we've talked about before.
I paid for every single one of those cookies. I just made them late at night. There's nothing wrong with that.
It was either throw them away or take them home.
Right.
To live with me. Yeah.
Exactly. I really just wanted, like, I felt like school, you know, waking up every morning, 8 o'clock, you know, was not fun, you know, or like having to study or do homework. I was not a fan of doing homework or doing studying. And so when I went, you know, I was like, well, maybe I take a year off. But my dad did that. My dad was like, I'll take a year off. And he never went to school. And so that conversation I had with him was what deterred me from that.
Yeah. I wanted to play rock and roll music, you know, after high school. That was my goal. That was my plan. But I went to junior college to try and figure it out. And then I was looking for every opportunity to chunk deuce and go travel and play music. And then obviously it led me to where I am today. Hey, good morning. How's it going? I can have some seats. And then we'll adjust the microphone. You can pull it and pull it towards you. You can wear the headphones if you want to. You don't have to if you don't want to. But we're going to want to talk probably about that close. But it'll adjust and pull towards you.
Camera.
And I'm going to swing the camera around.
We are. We're live on Facebook right now. So if you haven't done so, go ahead and share this video out. You can actually, if you just search for KHEA Radio on Facebook, you can actually watch all of our morning shows. We're talking to Chris Lane, and we haven't met the other person yet.
What's your name?
My name is Crystal Victoria.
Crystal Victoria. Nice to meet you.
Likewise. You said KHEA?
That's correct.
And then you can share out and watch along. Make sure your volume's down. We've had that happen before where people tune in and then all of a sudden
my phone rings, and that is like classic.
That's what we do. Like, he's talking about us. Like, we have people that tune in. It's us. We turn it on and our volume's on, and then we do it to ourselves. So how y'all been doing? What's going on?
Good. Thanks for asking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to be here.
Can you move the microphone closer to you? There you go.
Yeah, it'll adjust. You can pull it like
you can sit back
out,
if you want. You don't have to sit up, but just make sure you're talking into the microphone. That would be great.
How is this?
That's perfect.
Okay. I'm
great.
grateful to be here. Thank you so much for the opportunity and for the invite. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited to sit here on side of Councilman here.
Yes,
Councilman Chris Lane, Mr. Chris Lane. We went to Alex's Air Conditioning yesterday, and we were shooting a Shine On video. They're located right off, I think it's 706 Bayou Road, and they've been there for 50 years, which is the exact same year that the lunar moon landing they were talking about earlier. Coincidence? I don't think so. I think they're somehow tied together.
What if they were from the moon and then started Alex's. Like,
That's how we
from
got
the moon.
our air conditioning technology. I'm not sure. We're still trying to figure out that part. But I think
We're
there's a
doing
correlation.
We're doing an in-depth investigation on it.
Okay, awesome.
So whenever we were there, they said, hey, someone came in and they were talking about getting a sponsorship. They were getting something, and they said they were young. And I said, I wonder if they're from the Teen Biz Camp that's going on. And I know it just started. There's some stuff going on. And he pulled this flyer out and popped it over. I was like, yes.
Yes.
He said, I know
I
all
love
about
it.
that. So,
Awesome.
So what's going on with the Teen Biz Camp?
Okay, so what's taking place right now, we're in the first phase of our Teen Biz Camp, which the kids that just learned how to pitch their business, they actually constructed a pitch, and they have the ability, after constructing the pitch, to go out in the community and seek funding, mentorships, or an internship to work for potential company. So in a span of 2 days, we have hit over 26 different companies.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Within the Lamarck Tech City area. And the range of our
five.
kids.
I have an
Great
idea.
things happening in Lamarck.
Yes.
Yes.
I have an idea, Kurt.
Okay, what's the idea?
They've hit 26 different businesses, right?
Yes.
We need to get, how many kids are there participating?
At the moment, we have 5.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
Just
we
in
need
this
these 5 go-getters, these 5 kids who are, I call them kids, teenagers, young people, leaders that are going out to all these businesses. We just need to slip them a KHEA radio card so they can just hand that along with their pitch. Also, here's the greatest radio station in the world. Something
Most
like
definitely.
that.
We can make that happen.
Chris, here's what I'm a little upset about, and maybe you can help me not be so upset. Where I'm going to flip this table,
Okay.
but
I would love to.
they've been to 26, and not one of them was KHEA radio.
Okay, we were going to hit you guys up
Okay,
tomorrow, actually.
because I was like,
Yes.
I
Say the bet for last.
If I can get in on 20% of all of these kids' businesses, imagine what will happen when they strike
Most
gold,
definitely.
and then you're like,
Most definitely.
I told them this isn't Shark Tank. Like Kurt's the shark.
Yeah, it's like the big fish tank.
Yeah.
pitch me your business. I want 20, and they're like, well, will you take 10%? And I'm like, 20% or nothing.
Look out, Kevin O'Leary.
And matter of fact, now that you
Mr.
mention that,
Wonderful.
and matter of fact, we are having our pitch competition at our graduation, which is August 15th. So I officially extend an invitation for you guys to attend.
As well
August
as anybody
15th?
else that's
Yes.
listening, please.
Correct.
Our graduation, Thursday, August 15th.
Yeah, no, yes,
Sorry.
Thursday.
Is it Thursday? Thursday, August 15th at what time?
6 o'clock.
At 6 p.m. Where?
Location still being worked on.
To
as
be
we speak.
announced.
Yes.
So stay tuned. Check out our Facebook page. Follow us on Facebook. And, of course, Councilman Lane here. Follow him to stay updated on the camp and when graduation is so that you can come support our awesome teen entrepreneurs.
I love it. So we got 24 seconds, and then we're going to switch on to the FM, and we're already hanging out with our Facebook family. So we're going to, if you're watching on Facebook, feel free to share this out, or let us know if you have any questions. Maybe you have, you want to get involved, and this is a great way to get involved. So we got 10 seconds, and then we're going to reintroduce everybody and go from there. Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. My name is Gardy.
and I'm Kurt.
It is 9:16 on a Thursday morning. It's Taco Thursday. Did you see that was the first line of the description?
No, I
Taco
didn't.
Thursday. No?
Man, it's tacos every day. Can we just get over that? Like, can people stop just trying to make tacos one day of the week? Like, I feel like we're discriminating against tacos at this situation. Tacos, tacos, tacos.
Yeah. Well, it's Taco Thursday. We hope that you're having an awesome day today. We're broadcasting live from the campus of Abundant Life right here in Lamarck, Texas. KHEA Radio is a listener-supported station, and we have an app that you're able to download, and you can stream us from anywhere in the world. So today's a really fun day because we're going to be talking about this really cool program that I just learned about not too long ago.
Yeah, it's about Teen Biz Camp, and one of the things that I really am super excited about talking to Chris Lane about is how kids can get involved in local businesses or maybe being entrepreneurs themselves. KHEA Radio, we love supporting local, small, family-owned businesses, and this is an opportunity for these kids to kind of get an idea. So I have some ideas later on to make this Biz Camp next level.
Wait. Is this is it your own business idea or is it ideas for the camp?
Ideas for the camp.
Okay. I got you.
But we'll get into it after we
bug.
find out what's going on.
All right, and there we got a pamphlet right here that I did not use to kill a bug just now, but there was a little bug in my hand. So the Teen Biz Camp. Chris, can you kind of share, I guess, what the idea is? When did it start? And, you know, who's getting involved in this, the Teen Biz Camp?
Okay, so originally, when I was first elected to council, Lamarcus had like a huge deficit for us, opportunities to engage our youth or engaging our youth. So one of my first primary objectives that I wanted to accomplish was to find great programming within the greater Houston area and bring it to the city of Lamarck. This summer, I know I wanted to offer something huge to our kids and for our kids to participate in outside of the spectrum of your typical, football and basketball camp. And as doing stumbled along, just doing research, I happened to stumble upon the Teen Biz Camp, and Miss Crystal Victoria has created this awesome program that I call it an MBA in a box. For all intents and purposes, you actually start a business and you learn about SWOT analysis, profit loss margins, business etiquette, business psychology, how to create a sales pitch. You learn about marketing, branding, the whole 9 yards. You actually start a business by the time the 4th week arrived. And the second phase, we meet once a month with a different business mentor, and we all meet with the kids to make sure that they're keeping up with their profit margins and that they're making money and they operating a profitable business. And we have a third phase also that will allow Mrs. Victoria to go into a little bit more extensively.
Yeah, so the Teen Biz Camp, we have Crystal Victoria, who is joining Councilman Chris Lane right here from the city of Lamarck. Teen Biz Camp, can you share the background, like why? Why start this Teen Biz Camp?
Well, certainly. So almost 10 years ago, I was exiting a business that I was previously in. And my background was business brokerage, as well as I owned a text message marketing company. And I wanted to go and do something a little more fun, but also address one of the issues that I saw as a business broker, helping businesses exit, which is making sure that things are structured correctly in the first place. A lot of problems that business owners had when they were exiting their business or selling it, getting out of it, however they chose to do so, either joint venture, merger, acquisition. And we would do some of those on a smaller scale. I said, a lot of times we had issues. We had deals fall apart at close, all because things weren't structured correctly. Yeah. And it was a nightmare. I hated it. I made good money, but I hated every minute of it. And so it was that plus my personal story. So I've been an entrepreneur since I was a teenager. The thing about it is I was often punished for my entrepreneurial activities because my family, no one in my family is an entrepreneur. I'm the first and the only. And so my ability to sell was called scheming. I was considered too smart for my own good and often punished for my creative ways to make money and quickly fell into doing things the wrong way, all because I had no one to show me the right way.
What was your first business? As a teenager, what were you selling? I want to see why people were getting upset.
It was markers to the teachers.
No, I was actually in Girl Scouts.
Okay, hustling the cookies.
So hustling the cookies, and because I was so creative and I was good at it, and had this itch to scratch. Like I really just wanted to make as much money as possible. I started doing homework and doing the football team's homework because the jocks are usually dumb. Like, sorry, jocks. Like, forgive me for saying that.
They're not in the A plus B equals C honor roll.
I mean, seriously, and they all wanted to play, and I didn't want to go to school. So I was like, okay, trade off. I'm going to do your homework so I can learn what's going on at school without having to be there. Y'all are going to pay me. I get paid. You get your passing grades. We all win.
Everybody wins.
And so it transitioned from that to making doctor's notes to like get excused absences for school. And that's when trouble started creeping in. And and I always worked a job. So I'd have my job, then my side hustles. I mean, I drove a brand new Mustang in high school. Like, seriously, my freshman year, it was sophomore year. I had a brand new Mustang.
That's a lot of doctor's notes.
And people, work plus everything else.
Yeah, I got
there were some other things that sprung from that. We're not going to talk about all that today. My first book is out, From the Streets to the Skies, No Limit. You are more than welcome to go find out the real story and the whole truth.
That's awesome.
But fast forward to where I was when we started this in 2011, I really wanted to create an opportunity for kids that were like me, that didn't have the opportunity and their parents didn't know what to do. And I saw a lot of it all of the time. And unfortunately, when you have kids that have these entrepreneurial qualities and characteristics, and you don't nurture them or you don't put them on a path to learn how to do it and get the mentorship they need, they often fall between the cracks of our criminal justice system, because when they're selling dope or doing illegal activities, then everybody's in an uproar. But people have to understand that this is just entrepreneurial activity that is screaming to come out, that hasn't been properly guided into the right direction. And so, I said, how do I use my story, my expertise, and everything I have to spur a movement of teen entrepreneurship, especially amongst the kids that were, like me, too smart for your own good, but also those that are really creative and they have different ways of doing things. I just wanted to give them the opportunity to express themselves, and for parents to come and say, hey, I don't know nothing about this, I don't know what to do, but here.
Yeah. Well, that's an awesome story.
Most definitely.
I like
concur.
that. Yeah, because you take all of this energy, and there's a lot of bright kids, and you just don't know where to start.
Correct.
For you said that nobody in your family was an entrepreneur.
Still aren't.
Do you have any idea where that desire came from? Did it come from within, or maybe you saw something or somebody else influenced you?
So that right there, it took me probably 30 years to reach back to find out where that was. So the story is, my grandmother was a maid in 1992 for a very, very, very wealthy family. And she would come and get me after school. And I was like in the 10th. So no, I was in the 2nd grade back then. She'd come get me after school and take me with her to work. And my job was to iron their sheets and vacuum clean their stairs. And so I'm in this, they had several multi-million-dollar houses in the same community. And one day I'm literally like vacuum cleaning the stairs when I looked around, and I'm like, I don't live like this. Wait a minute. What do they do? It kind of just, the question popped in my head for the first time that, this is a life, like this is a house. My house isn't this big. Like, how did these people get here? So I asked my grandma, I said, Grandma, what do they do? How did they get here? So my grandmother, being the amazing person that she was, she was like, well, Crystal, you've got to get an education. You got to work hard. You got to go to school. You've got to, get a good job. And I'm like, okay, that didn't really answer my question.
Right.
Love you. And I'm still confused. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go home and ask my mom. My mom knows. I go home and ask my mom. I was like, Mom, so grandma's a maid and these people are in these big houses, and I just want to know, how they got there. And so my mom goes, well, Crystal, you got to go to school. You got to get a good job. You got to get an education. And I'm like, okay, thanks. Nobody answered my question. And it was at that point that I realized that some information was missing, or life wasn't fair, because no one could explain to me why some people had and some people had not. No one could explain to me in my family, unfortunately, and I say it's unfortunately, and I don't blame them for what they didn't know, but they really couldn't explain to me how they got there. And so I was at school and I was just confused. I was conflicted in my spirit. I was angry, like, somebody's not telling me something, and all you people are adults and y'all aren't giving me the information. Somebody is lying or not telling the truth. And I went to my mom, and I also told her, I was like, Mom, you said work hard and go to school, but no one works harder than you, and we don't live that way. So please explain what they're doing that you're not, and why we can't do what they're doing because you're struggling to pay bills, and this makes no sense. Because if they can do it, and you're saying working hard and going to school is the key, then you're working 2 jobs. We should be living like this.
Right.
And there's more to it. But that was also the thing that kind of spurred my troublesome years, my troubled teenager years, because I was really angry and I checked out. And I was like, no one could tell me anything. If you're an adult, I didn't want to listen to you, because no one could tell me how these people got rich. And unless you could come to me with that information, I had nothing for you. And it was so unfortunate for me, because I got in a lot of trouble. But at the same time, I knew something wasn't right, and I didn't really get the information as to what it was until I was an adult. And so, I said back then, and then we're talking about early 90s. You have to think about this. There was no social media.
Right.
In order for you to leave your community and even be exposed to the lives of millionaires and people that made money like this and lived like this, you had to be in a privileged circle to be taken out of that environment and put into these others. So I was a little privileged. That being said, though, nowadays, social media has given that exposure of lifestyle to millions of people. And so whereas I was just one kid that had that question, multiply me times 10 million now, because there's a whole lot of kids that are asking those same questions and people are not giving them the answer. And you've got a frustrated generation out here that is like, okay, somebody needs to tell us how to get some money because no one else is. We see people living wealthy lives. And we see there's some that are athletes, some that are, actresses and entertainers. But there's a whole lot of money out here, and we don't understand how to get to it. And so, I wanted to demystify it. And then also let people know that there's nothing wrong with people that are wealthy. There's nothing wrong with learning about entrepreneurship. And also, from an economic perspective, if we'd really embrace it and if it's an entirety from self-employment to freelance, and if we'd really embrace all that entrepreneurship could be, you're talking about something that has a major role in improving economic mobility in this country, lifting people out of poverty, creating family businesses, leaving legacies. There's something more powerful than that. So, that was the backstory of how I got here. It really came out of anger and rage.
Yeah. So Lamarck, is an area. I moved to this area when I was about 10 years old, and my dad worked for AT&T, the phone company, which actually with Mr. Cleveland Lane, Chris's father. So we've known each other for some time. And working for AT&T, I saw my dad, and I know you saw your dad too.
Correct.
Every day, working hard, and that was an inspiration for me because I'm like, well, that's what you do. You can provide for your family. I ended up working for AT&T as well, and so I'd go into some of these houses, which we live in. Grew up in Lamarck, right down the street. Great house, everything's awesome, everything I ever needed,
right,
taken care of. But you go into these houses, walk into a multi-million-dollar house, and I kind of had that stuff going in my head too because I would see, man, I'm busting my butt every day, working hard in the attic, climbing poles, doing all this stuff, and I feel like. What did they do to get here? So I would look, if people have offices, you're going, hooking up the internet, doing whatever you got to do. And I would look at the wall and I would see they got a master's degree. They got a business degree. They got this and that. And that's kind of the thing that I would see. And at that point, I was like, I want to go back to school and I want to get my master's. I want to get a master's degree because I was currently in school while at AT&T to try and get a business degree. And for me, I was like, I don't even know why, but I feel like that's like on the path, to be able to do this kind of stuff. And so for me, that was I related a little bit to that part. But whenever you have kids that enter into the teen biz camp, or you just talk to people, or maybe you post something on social media, or you've written a book, or maybe even multiple books, but if people come up and they say, like, what do I do? If you had that message to you as a second grader, what do you tell that person?
So what I would tell somebody that is interested in becoming a business owner, and that is like, well, what do I do? Where do I start? Number one skill for entrepreneurship and success is sales. Find something to sell and get really good at it. And I also tell people, run your own business, be self-employed. I feel like that's the first step. Now, contrary to some popular beliefs, some other people will tell you something different, but statistic fact says that at least 70% of entrepreneurs that have grown multi-million-dollar businesses started doing something as kids. So we all start self-employed, okay? And I tell people, don't let no one tell you different, okay? We all start with one little simple thing, and we master the art of selling. And we learn all of our failure. You learn overcoming obstacles, rejection, criticism, failure in a self-employed environment where you're just learning how to sell and deal with people every day and trying to get out there. You master that, and that's where the grind and the hustle comes in. You can do that, then building a bigger business will be easy, because even within that, you will learn your strengths and weaknesses. You'll find out exactly how to build the team that you need, because you'll know what kind of team, what kind of person you are. You'll get an understanding of yourself and what you like and don't like about business, and what you're really good at and what you're not. But until you have run a business on your own and you have got out there and hustled and grind and sweat, blood, tears, trying to figure out how to sell a product, and it doesn't have to be anything that you created. I tell people sometimes network marketing is not a bad choice. You call it a pyramid scheme. I call it the best way to learn how to sell. Okay. Pick up a product, join a company, get a simple product, something that you don't have to spend a lot of time and investment to just get in your hands, and be a master at selling it. And that one skill, like I said, will carry you far. Mine was Girl Scout cookies. Start with Girl Scout cookies. And so you've got kids out here selling lemonade, bottled water, mowing yards. All of those that's how you start. You start by learning how to put yourself out there and ask somebody for business.
What did my boy would say? You either become a slave to somebody else's idea, or you go and pursue your own.
Yeah, something like that. Not quite though.
Isn't that what it is? Like,
so it's like either you can build your own dream, or someone will hire you to build theirs.
Yeah, something along the same lines, right?
Slavery. I don't know about that one.
Who was it that was talking about that? We were listening to
He's talking about Grant Cardone?
Yeah, Grant
Grant
Cardone.
Cardone?
Yes.
We were driving on our way to
Humble to go watch an MMA fight.
yeah, and all of a sudden he said that, and I was just like, huh.
Kurt was kind of disappointed because I was like, Kurt, I have a present for you. We're gonna get in the car. This is gonna be it may change your life. And it was the 10X rule, and so I plugged it in, and we were driving Humble, and he was just like, he's like, really, this is what it is? I was like, listen, you're gonna catch maybe one thing that will potentially, it could shape the rest of your life. You catch on to one thing, you can change your life forever. And so he's over there playing like Candy Crush on his phone. I was like, dude, you need to throw that phone in the back seat. Like, we're going to stop at the gas station, get some drinks and some chips, and you just need to like eat that and eat this knowledge that's coming in. And that book, The 10X Rule, I guess I read it, maybe 2 years ago or so, and that really influenced me in a different way of thinking as well. But I don't know. It's really cool to be able to see programs like this influence the future, especially here in Lamarck, because you were mentioning something different than the basketball camps and the football camps. They're already here and they're great, and there's a ton of athletes that are here and that have come out of Lamarck, Texas. But it would be awesome to hear about these business owners, these kids that are using their skills that they already have. There's potential.
How can I get 20% of all of their business ideas?
You can wait till phase 3 when we determined who's going to be, who has decided they want to be an entrepreneur, who doesn't.
Send them my way. I'm just going to take 20%. I'm not going to fund anything.
Wait a minute.
I like the mafia.
Is this extortion? Are you just trying to extort my kids?
Maybe a little bit. But
No.
I'll
You got
give them-
Mama Bear to deal with.
I will
I'm
give
beast.
them a platform. I will give them a platform to use their business.
We talk to a lot of people.
No.
She's like shaking her. No.
Nope. Not with my baby. She won't. I don't have any kids. So we've had over 400 kids. This program
Wow.
operates in 4 different cities in Texas.
That's
We're in
awesome.
Dallas, Houston, Austin, or LaGrange. And Lamarck, we have a 10-city rollout, really, really pushing towards rural areas. And I'm Mama Bear. I don't have any children. So this is my way of having kids without having kids. So you will not touch my baby's businesses without having to deal with me first, okay?
Okay, how about let's make a deal. Let's make a deal. I'll get 20%, but they're able to come on our show and talk about their business, and I still get 20%.
5%.
10, and you got a deal.
2.
Dang, she went down. Okay, 5. We'll go back to 5. I'm the worst Shark Tank ever.
Yeah.
No, but one of the things that I think is really cool, and maybe that's an opportunity for us to go and talk too. One of the things that I learned in college and growing up was about the importance of being able to communicate. And I think sales is communication.
Yes, it is.
If you can't communicate your product, you can't do anything. And so a lot of athletes are the same way too.
Well, you're selling yourself, even if you aren't in sales. And there's
Yes.
a lot of people we meet and they say, I don't do sales. I can't do sales.
You
Everything
got to
is
do a
sales.
job interview.
Can anybody learn to sell yourself or sell a
Anybody
product?
can. We all learn to sell ourselves at some point. We just don't consider it so. It's called an AKA job interview. Okay. That's selling yourself. You need to sell yourself to that interviewer is why you're the best person for the job. The resume is basically your brochure and your business card, and you got to go in there and sell yourself. We are always selling ourselves. And like I said, it's just not phrased as so.
Yeah.
It's considered a job interview, and everybody's like, yay. And there's nothing wrong with jobs. I love jobs. I haven't had one in 15 years, but I love jobs. I mean, I've written 4 books and one in college textbook, and I tell people every time I go broke now, I just write another book. And I have 5, so that'll let you know how many times I went broke. But but essentially, yes, sales is something that can always be taught. It's more of an art, though, that you learn with experience. I think there are sales strategies that people can give you, but the best way for you to learn how to sell is to just get out there and go through it, which is why our kids this first week go through what's called the litmus test. And that's basically what we do. We give them our brochure and our sponsorship, and we say, first lesson is here, sell this. If you can sell this, then your business will be easy.
Do y'all give them instruction or just be like, let me see you try and sell it like this? Or do y'all give them a plan?
So there's a 1 day of training. The first day they go through a full training. They learn about pitching and handshakes, about why networking is important because they're doing more than selling. You know, they're also learning about business owners that are out there. They have what's called a scavenger hunt that they're running around and they're finding different business owners that fit this criteria as, you know, maybe a means of mentoring them, but also building the conversation, building that rapport. They go and, like I said, they're out there looking for mentors as well. So, yeah, we do a day of training. We go over the basics and do some practice with them. And then the next day we kick the birdies out of the nest.
Why have they never come and found me? I'm the world's greatest mentor.
Chris, why haven't you come and found him? Because he's the world's greatest mentor.
I might have given some inside information to Councilman Lane. Just keep
Avoid
the kids.
me?
The kids don't need to be in your car.
But one of the things that I was going to bring up, you know, as athletes, a lot of them are communication majors. You know, because they're going to be in front of the cameras. They're going to be doing interviews. As a business owner, communication. In fact, the school I went to, Harvard of the Midwest, Hastings College.
Of course, yeah.
Wink, wink. They talked to, you know, a lot of the business classes were part of the communication classes. So there was a lot of overlay because you have to learn how to do like radio interviews, which you guys are doing great. And, you know, TV interviews, you have to know how to be in front of a camera because you might have to do some commercials. You know, you can run a business without those things, but being able to communicate is huge.
Yes, agreed. And it's so funny you said being in front of the TV because it's like that's one thing I've got to break the fear of this year. I am so camera shy. And so, yeah, I know. The thing is, I can't look in the camera and talk. Like, I'm not going to go into detail right now, but let's just say it's always a disaster because I don't have a good poker face. So what I'm feeling and thinking, it shows on my face. And so when I'm on camera, it comes across like all weird. And I'm so busy worried about what I look like on the other side that I can't even finish my conversation. I start stumbling over my words. It's a mess. Radio is much better. Radio is super easy for me. But TV, I suck. So maybe, you know, I need some TV classes if y'all know anybody that want to mentor me.
For us, what's happened is like the lights. It's just like a repetition thing. Because like if you're in a studio setting and there's lights on you and there's a bunch of people looking, there is like a pressure and you see like a red light go on and you just kind of have to roll with it. But it's just like that repetition. Hey, this is from Alan Hutchins. He said, Chris Lane, call me. I'd like to sponsor a youth and provide an A&A mentor. Great program.
Thank you.
Let's get it done.
A&A is fantastic. What they're able to do in the community and how they're just constantly involved. I saw yesterday they were at a young adults event for the chamber or a young professionals event for the Texas City Lamarck Chamber. So they're everywhere, which is awesome to give back to the community like they do.
Thank you. We appreciate you. Shout out to A&A. Is that what that is?
A&A.
A&A, shout out to A&A. We're going to be promoting you. Thank you.
Right now it's 9:40. This is KHEA Radio.com, 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. We're going to be on till 11 o'clock today. Right now we're talking about the Teen Biz Camp. It's taking place in how many cities?
4.
It's in 4 cities currently.
Currently in 4 cities. Houston is halfway through. Dallas is like in week 6. And I think Austin or LaGrange. It's LaGrange. I need to give them LaGrange like an hour from Austin. They're at week 5.
Okay.
And then Lamarck just kicked off there week 1 right now. So we typically start in June. So, you know, for the summer session, there's fall and spring. Summer is fun because the kids, we have them more often. Fall and spring, we're primarily Target Evolution as a whole. We're a after school and summer youth entrepreneurship program. And we do our programming via the Teen Biz Camps. But we also have other resources. We have a gig work app for kids. where if you're looking, it's like kind of like a Uber Kids thing. So they're not driving, of course, but maybe like a TaskRabbit or Fiverr.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's just for kids. Where they can get on and make money doing different gigs and stuff in the community. We, like I said, have our textbooks. We have Teen Biz Camp program. We have our alumni program, and as well as other mentoring and workshop opportunities. So we're all about youth entrepreneurship education, period. That's what we do.
And this started in 2011?
2011.
Are there any stories that you are willing to share about any kids who started those businesses?
Sure. So we have, oh God, there's so many. Trying to think. Let me pick it. So I'll give you a couple quick ones. So my favorite story is about, and I'm going to call just for the sake of confidentiality, Steven. So Steven comes and starts a business, and first he's in all kinds of trouble, and mom is kind of at her wit's end. So, she's like, this is the last hope, and I just don't know what to do after this. So Steven comes in, and he sees the opportunity to make money, and he becomes a different kid. About halfway through, at first it was shaky. At first it was rough. I will not lie. He was rough. But about halfway through, this light turns on and he just starts shining and he started excelling. So by the end of the program, he was making a couple $100s a month. On average, our kids make a couple $100s a month, for the first year. And we monitor that as well. But Steven started making a couple $100s a month. He was selling a T-shirt. Then he started making like $400 or $500 a month. And you could see like this life coming back. And his mom was just like, oh my God, like a lot of these issues that we're having have gone away. And his grades improved by an entire 1-point GPA. He went from like a C student to like a B+. He graduated from high school. And when he went to college, he was making about $2,000 a month selling his T-shirts. Not a lot of money, but it gave him a nice little savings and way to put back for college and other activities. So he goes to college and he realized, you know what? College and running this business is too much, and I don't think I want to do this anymore. So he had a younger brother and sister. In addition, his mom was working 2 jobs. He handed that business to his younger brother and sister, and they started running it, and it helped them to be able to buy school clothes and stuff like that and relieve pressure out from mom. So mom was able to quit the second job, help them, and be able to also send them all to college from that one T-shirt business. Wow. So that was my favorite story.
That's
because
amazing.
I was like, not only did we keep a kid out of jail, we lifted a family out of a rough situation. She was able to quit her second job. That's awesome. And then I have a real cool story about a couple kids that were in here in our program a couple years ago. And so they actually will be teaching this year in our Dallas Teen Biz Camp. But they were cool because the girl, she cried. They were brother and sister, and the girl cried her way through the entire program. Like, she was mortified from day one. And halfway through, she was, like, giving up. And I will say, this happens a lot. She's not the first. Hey, heck, they crying, I'm crying because I'm tired. We all crying about halfway through. I'm running between 4 or 5 cities. I'm tired. So, those tears, though, is when the passion starts coming through. And, we surround them with love and mentoring at that point. And we're like, hey, it's okay. If you're running a business, you're going to have a lot of days like this. This is when you need to push through. She literally won the pitch competition. She had the best business. And a year later, she was going into, so I was in senior year now, so she was in 10th grade when this happened. So her 10th grade year, she decided she wanted to go to a very prestigious business school in Irving, Texas. Well, the problem with that was in order for her to get in, she had to have started out as a freshman, and she didn't. She was trying to come in at junior year, and complete junior and senior year. And her little brother was going in as a freshman. But that being said, the school originally told her no, and she went back and told them that she participated in this Teen Biz Camp entrepreneurship program. And they saw her certificate, saw the curriculum, and literally let her in.
That's awesome.
And so her and her little brother that were both in our program are now in this very prestigious business school, all because they came through our program. So those are a couple of the stories. I mean, we've got kids that are making money, but I think some of the best success stories aren't even about that. I think maybe the possibility of kids becoming rich or making tons of money is kind of a byproduct of what we do, but that's not the expectation or the rule. It's not the measurement of success. Our success is measured by the kids that complete high school, those that, go on to college, those that have improved their grades, those that have improved SAT and SAT scores. We measure academic performance. And that's where a lot of our data is, in addition to those that get a job. In our exit phase, there's 3 areas that kids are able to exit from when we're interviewing them to figure out what they want to do next with this education. They can be an innovator and build their business and grow it. They can go for college prep, because about 50% of our kids say, I love this, but now I see why algebra is important, because I can't do accounting without it. And I want to be able to count my money. So I'm going to go back to school and be more focused and go on to college. Now I'm motivated to do it because I see how this applies to my business and being an entrepreneur. And then we've got about 25% of the kids, which is our third outlet, is job placement, that say, you know what, this is too hard. I don't want to be an entrepreneur. I don't want to go to college. But I'll be the best employee ever. Send me to career school. I'll go to technical trade. I'm ready to get to the money now. And I will not steal 50-cent pens at work, because I understand that it might affect my payroll, right? That may affect my salary one day. I'll be on time. They come into these businesses with an entire different work ethic. They end up being the best employees for employers. So all around, it's a win for us.
Yeah.
It's a win.
Whenever y'all are going through the curriculum and the program, is there a portion that talks about taxes, and how do kids react? That's a reality check in itself at times.
So yes, there is a part that talks about taxes, because they actually all get QuickBooks accounts. In addition to that, our gig app, we're able to monitor how much each kid is making. And as well as our banking relationships, we help them get bank accounts. Community Bank of Texas, woohoo! One of our big sponsors. Love our kids. We are able to help make sure that they are prepared for that. In our alumni program, that's phased. So once they get rewarded for earning and achieving quarterly revenue goals. So once they hit one revenue goal, we assess their needs and where they're at. And if we need to have that deeper discussion about taxes, we do. But until they get there, we keep it light. We don't believe in giving the kids way too much information at the beginning, because reality is a lot of our kids get in our program and finish, and they barely make a couple $100s a month. And that's just not taxable income. I mean, it's nice side money. And of course, if you make over $400, then you're required to pay some self-employment tax. But, for the most part, it's not a major issue. We haven't had any $10,000 a month businesses or anything, or kids that have come out yet. And will that happen in the future? Maybe. But
possibility, yeah.
But like I said, the way the program is structured, it's structured to give the kids what they need when it's time, and not a moment before.
All right. So what's the future hold? Since 2011, and you have these cities that you're already in, are you going national or more cities in Texas? What's the plan?
So both. We noticed that there is a lack of innovative programs like this in rural areas. So our first goal was we're going to spend the next 12 months figuring out how to master these youth entrepreneurship programs in rural areas like Lamarck, LaGrange, places that are in the middle of nowhere. People typically don't do programs for kids out there. And these kids are the ones that need it the most, because there's nothing there for them. So we're going to figure that out and saturate Texas. We have about a 10-city rollout. Our partnership with Houston Community College is helping to make that happen. We'll be in all 7 HCC campuses next year, as well as we're looking at 10 cities across Texas and saying we need to really, really get a strong foothold in Texas. And then we have national expansion plans. So we're looking at 10 cities across the nation that we can expand to next. But our goal will be actually at least making sure there is 5 teen biz camps in every state. Now, if all goes well, which we're going to cross our fingers, I believe there's a little over 3,000 counties and parishes in the U.S. If we can touch every one, I'll be a happy camper. But hey, the goal is to do what we can, the best we can with what we do and what we have. And so, major plans, expansion. We've even had some requests to go overseas to other countries. Costa Rica, a couple of countries in Africa have requested and, asked how they can get our programming there. So we'll go global when it's time. I won't necessarily be running it.
Yeah.
My goal is to eventually pass it off to one of our youth. I believe this should be a for youth by youth organization. And in a few years, I'm going to be old. And I'm not going to have the patience to deal with everybody. Although I'm a lover for a distance and always be on the board of directors, I really want to train my successor that's a teen right now. and have them take my place and go and support them as they run and grow it. So those are the plans.
If you're just joining us right now, we're talking about the Teen Biz Camp. There is one of these taking place in Lamarck right now, and I believe graduation's August the 15th, where right now there's 5 local kids that are planning a business. They're seeing what it takes to start a business, run a business, how do you make money, where does the money go, and learning either how to be a future employee of someone else's business, maybe pursue their own, or realize the importance of school and information they still need to learn so they can be successful. Chris, Mandolin actually is the one who told me, like, hey, you need to talk to Chris about the Teen Biz Camp. And then we ran into each other at Benito's, and I was able to learn more. And we already touched on this a little bit, but why is this important for this organization, for this program to be in Lamarck?
Just so one of the things I've established since I've been on council has been an entrepreneurship series. And one thing we have done, once a month, we have tried to hold like a financial literacy course. And so, again, I just think entrepreneurship is something that a lot of our kids aren't exposed to at a very young age. And so to break the cycle and to improve the economic development process in the city of Lamarck, it's in my soul, and I'm very passionate about, breaking entrepreneurship and teaching it to little kids.
There's a lot of room for development in Lamarck still.
Correct.
And how cool would it be for some of these new businesses that are popping up to be from our own kids that are here?
That's the game plan.
And I bet there's
sir.
even kids that have gone through this program that have inspired their parents.
Yes.
Seeing that information that they learned and like, hey, let me look at that. What are you looking at? And then they get their wheels turning and start their own business as well.
There's not enough that can be said about that. That is a phenomenon that we did not anticipate at the beginning. I said, look, and I can say this with confidence now. You want to get parents' attention, especially those that are busy and they have multiple kids and they're at work, help the kids make them some money. I promise you, those parents are coming out the woodworks wondering, what y'all doing? What's this about?
Where'd you get the money? And then you see like,
and then they're like,
here's my
this
business
is
plan.
cool. And so what ends up happening, and we're seeing this really a lot, majorly in Houston right now, to the point Houston Community College is literally there. We're rolling out a family entrepreneurship course program and giving these kids and their parents scholarships to go through it. Because the kids are coming through the program, and I had moms calling, like, can I come sit in a class? Or, hey, do y'all have something like this for adults? And look, Target Evolution, we stop at 19. If you're over 19, don't call me. But
they're going to be forging birth certificates and like IDs like scratched out.
But definitely if your kids are in our program, then we are obligated to make sure that you know what you're doing in order to help support your kids.
Yeah.
And so I tell them that's the back door. You can't come, but send your kids. We'll work with the kids, and then we roll out a program for adults. So we're working right now with HCC to do that. And in the fall, we anticipate launching our first family entrepreneurship program where the parents actually will go through something similar to Teen Biz Camp, but it's going to help them to be able to help that kid with their business, but also grow it and create their own if they want to. So it's really interesting. The family dynamic that's coming into play. When you talk about community development, this is it on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that Councilman Lane has embraced this, because for me, this is a government issue. This is economic, workforce, and community development, which are all in alignment with the role and purpose of our government. And if I could add to that, it's also education. Correct. So you're killing 4 birds in one stone with one program. And so it only makes sense for our elected officials to be a part of it. And I think that Chris's commitment to it is even more reason why he needs to remain in his position. We need more people like him that are embracing things like this.
Yeah. We have about 3 minutes left. Is there anything else that y'all would like to share? Maybe how can a business owner get involved, or even an individual? Is there anything they can do to help?
I have a question.
Yes, Curt.
Chris, how can I be on council? Because I want to be a councilman.
You have to
Can
live
I
in
have your
Lamarck.
job?
Yes, you can. And maybe in a year or so. Next
Okay.
meeting.
Next.
Yeah. We could work on that.
I have to have a house in Lamarck, though, right?
Yes.
That's
Dang.
important.
I've been trying to buy one just for this.
We could work on that also. We're expanding on the west side of town, so we can have that conversation off air.
Can I be a councilman and be on the radio? Like, I don't think you can you?
I think you can. I don't
Yeah.
know why.
I don't see
You
why
totally
not.
could. You
I don't
totally
think
could.
you can push your campaign on the radio.
He can't
Hey,
help
go
it.
go
But you can
go vote
be
for me,
on the
Kurt
radio.
Casper, Councilman Lamar. Let's do it right now. President 2020.
Yeah, why
Kurt Casper.
just aim high, if you're going to be.
Most definitely.
I would say get to work in the community where people know you, and like make a difference, and
That's
they
a
will
good start.
happily vote for you.
I am going to be the 83rd president of the United States of America.
83rd. We've got a long way to go. don't we?
I'm hashtag 83.
Hashtag 83.
He's done the math.
2100. You're
It's close.
2110.
Yeah, 2110. 2110. Possibly.
I won't live to see it, but you go, boy.
There you go. I have an 83 IQ, so hashtag 83. 83rd president of the United States.
Have all the bases covered.
Oh, for sure, for
Most
sure.
definitely.
Yes. Can I give out contact info?
Of course.
So our website, if you would like to get involved with our program, please reach us. Our website, teen TEEN. Woo, I misspelled like as in teenager. TEEN biz BIZ as in zebra camp.com. It will take you to targetevolution.org, but teenbizcamp.com is the easy way to remember how to get to us. So follow us, visit our website, follow us on Facebook, social media. We're at Teen Biz Camp on every platform. Make sure you follow us, like us, share, comment, all of the above. Tell your friends, your family, you have some other kids that you want to adopt in the community.
Tell them all.
Tell them all, because we're putting Lamarck on the map with this. And we're only going to grow it from here. So we anticipate having more camps around the area next year. Councilman is going to lead the way in doing so, putting one in Galveston and other areas. So it just won't be Lamarck. It'll be Lamarck and surrounding areas, and it's a great way for business owners to get in and support and have fun. These kids have so much fun. This is not a boring program. I have to tell people this because, look, if it was boring, I wouldn't want to run it, let alone put the kids through the pressure of sitting through it. These kids are gone on field trips. They are all over the community. They are doing all kinds of amazing things. And so they are having fun, and you will too if you get involved.
All right.
I did drop the contact information below. It's targetevolution.org and then 1-866-307-0255.
Don't give that number.
Oh.
We just changed it. Sorry.
Don't go to that number.
Don't call that
I can't
number.
delete
Sorry.
that number either.
Yeah,
So
it's okay.
I'm reporting it in the comment.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, we had a phone system change last week, and so I'm like, okay, and it deleted our number.
do you
So
have
sorry.
the number? What's the number?
So you can just call my personal number, 214-830-4677. You can call me or Councilman Lane. Do you want to give out your number?
409-392-6167.
So call either of us if you'd like to get involved. That's our direct numbers. And, also you can send an email to info@targetevolution.org. Send an email. We'd be glad to connect with you. Sorry about the phone number. Once again, growing pains. Company growing pains. All right. We're going through transitions. We're expanding and everything else too. So
All right.
thank you guys for having us.
Thank
I
you for joining us.
appreciate
And Chris or Crystal, just let us know if there's anything else that we can do to help in any way.
Sure thing, my
it.
friend.
Awesome.
Thanks
Thank
again.
you.
It's KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. Coming up next, Hillsong Worship. Who you say I am?
One of the things I think would be really cool is if the kids did have to come on to our show,
Sure.
and talk.
Yeah, we can
That's
most
the boss
definitely-
right there.
We can most definitely arrange that.
Whatever he
That'd be
says, I
cool.
go for it.
Yeah, we can most definitely arrange that.
Yeah.
Or they do a Facebook Live with us or something. It'd be cool, to
Or you
partner
guys
with
can come to the graduation, to the pitch competition.
But
I'm down.
before
Do we get to
Thursday.
judge the pitch competition?
He loves to judge
Can they judge?
other
Yeah.
people.
He's the
I'm all
facilitator
for
for
that.
Lamarck. I'm
Right.
just here as moral support. Whatever he says goes. It's camp,
Yeah.
his city.
If you want a tough judge, Kurt will judge them like no one's ever judged them in their life. He will tear them up and down. I promise you that. Which is
He's out-
sometimes good as reality, but
He's all about judging, huh?
also, what's the high points? You need to point out high points too, not just
I will
criticism.
say, any kid, I'll give them a good grade, if they give me 20% of their business.
They had to talk to you before the competition, huh?
Yes.
Work
Work it out.
a little bit.
Underneath the table. I'll take cash underneath the cable.
Oh my God.
What? We're
definitely.
teaching good business practices.
Right.
You think he has future
It's
in
the Lamarck way.
in the government, politics?
No. You're going straight down for corruption, buddy.
Probably right.
Taking cash under the table. Hilarious.
Thank you guys so
Thank
much.
you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
A couple. We're over 500 watching today so far?
Like how many live?
Right now, there's 7.
7.
It comes and goes. It goes up and down.
Yeah, I'm sure that's
And then we have our FM, so there's a bunch of people listening.
awesome.
Thank you.
Thank y'all
Thanks
so
for staying
much.
tuned.
Thank
And
you.
so,
Facebook.
yes,
Hey,
we
thank
would
you.
love to have you mentor. Chris will be
What's
right
up,
with
guys?
you and how that's going to work.
So that was fun. Talking about the Teen Biz Camp that is taking place right now. There's some local teenagers that are able to find out what it takes to start a business. So that's what we learned about just now. And we actually saw one of these pamphlets whenever we were at Alex's Air Conditioning yesterday shooting Shine On in Lamarck off Bayou Road. You okay, Kurt?
Doing good. My back sitting
feeling
in
better?
this chair.
Helped?
Might need a pillow or something in the future
Why?
to give support to the back.
I feel like you have enough support going on there. No?
No, it's hurting. It was fine when I started, but just sitting here, not moving it, it's kind of sore.
Well, you're moving it like this. You're doing a little sway back and forth, man.
I'm trying-
What can we do to help you?
Pillow.
A pillow. How's a pillow going to help you? Like you're going to leave it on your back?
No, just sit up on it.
Like sit on it?
Yeah. It's like have you ever like hurt your like tailbone or like bruised your tailbone?
Sure.
I remember as a kid, I was jumping or something and I landed on my tailbone and bruised my tailbone.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. So
Just now. Like, I mean, why do you need
Maybe.
to sit on a pillow?
Let me finish the story. But I had to take a little pillow to sit on at school, and it was super embarrassing. I was like in like 4th grade, and they're like, "Why do you have a pillow?" I'm like, because my tailbone hurts.
Okay. So you're sharing that story to show like, did your tailbone hurt now? I thought it was your back.
it's my back, but it would give support to the back. That's all I'm
Dear
saying.
God.
That's all I'm saying. You asked me how I was doing. I told you how I was doing.
I need a pillow. I should understand. I don't think a pillow is going to hurt. If your back hurts,
Thing that basically broke his back.
you broke your back.
Oh, he's saying. Eldridge is saying he wants the thing that broke your back because remember I was reaching over for a cushion to pick up.
That makes sense.
Eldridge got jokes over here.
It's not a joke. It's real life.
What's
Kurt-
up, Patrick? How are you doing, sir?
Kurt injured himself picking up a pillow while he was in Florida. It was a cushion, actually. And now he wants to sit on a cushion. The irony is there. Yes, it is. I appreciate that. He thinks sitting on a cushion will, which you have a cushion on your chair. But I don't know. That's neither here nor there. If you're watching on Facebook, please let us know. What are you up to today? How's it going? We're waiting for our next guest as we're going to be transitioning and talking about Okra Fest, a festival of okra.
If you love okra, this is going to be the time to tune in and make sure that you find out about the festival.
I think if you love food in general, or you just love to do interesting things that are seasonal, this is the opportunity for you. It's at the Galveston Farmers Market. I've never been to the Galveston Farmers Market. Have you?
No, I've been, the only farmer's market that I have been to in this area was at 3 Acres Food Truck Park.
Okay. What were they selling there?
We've been before, haven't we?
I don't know if that's
like
a farmer's market. Like, I think of a farmer's market and it's like produce and like food or stuff like that. They have those like little markets, but they're like either like the holiday markets or vendor markets. But like a farmer's market, I'm thinking like someone's coming selling their tomatoes or watermelons. Maybe they have like beef.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've never been to. Actually, maybe I have because I know there's one in KEMA.
Maybe.
There's one in KEMA, maybe like off of 146 near. Is that like 518 or something? But yeah, they have some farmers markets, and I'm sure that she'll be able to answer those questions for us. What's the difference between a farmer's market and somebody else's market?
You know, when I lived in Vermont, they had a weekly farmers market, even in the wintertime. And so you're thinking like they actually moved it indoors so you could still go get fresh produce because Vermont, it's all about like we want something fresh, we want something local. And so it was a massive farmers market. It would fill up an entire parking lot. Like imagine an HEB parking lot. It would fill up the entire parking lot. It was massive.
Yeah.
And they did it every Saturday morning.
If I was HEB and they were set up in my parking lot, I might be kind of mad as I'm like, hey, we sell the exact same thing. We even sell them from the local people, and they're right inside.
I think it was just right outside the Walmart But the Walmart there,
I would be mad. I'm
the Walmart there wasn't a super Walmart, so you couldn't get groceries at that Walmart. It was just one of the stores without groceries. You've never seen one of those?
Yes, I've seen those.
Oh, okay.
Like it was like 1990. Yeah, they used to have those around here, but it wasn't the super center. It was only like if I want to get stuff to clean my car, maybe some clothes or whatever, or CDs. I remember being a kid and be like, "Can I go look at the electronics and go look at the video games?" So they don't have food. They don't have food at the Walmart there.
Not in that town. Yeah, for sure. They just had a couple grocery stores, but then they had the Walmart, and then they had that farmers market every Saturday, which is I think is cool because you can learn. There's so much you can learn from somebody who grows their own stuff. Like how was this created, and they're very knowledgeable in order to do it. A lot of times it's like the honey. And some of the, like, in Vermont, it was like the maple syrup. And so you could go get fresh maple syrup.
Did they have the bees there, like, selling it, explaining how they made it?
No.
That would be cool.
That would be cool if the bees could talk.
Yeah. That's not how it works?
No.
Oh, wow. You got my hopes up, man. That'd be really cool. It's like, and here's the bees, and they'll answer any of your questions. Jurassic Park was on TV the other day, and I was watching just a glimpse of it. It was like the original one.
Yeah.
And there was the part where they explain like dino DNA, like how that whole process went. It's like we found an insect. It was a mosquito. He had some dinosaur blood that he had, and then he became, in some gel, and he was preserved, and that's how they were able to experiment and mass produce them.
I was kind of hoping.
But the bug talks. That's why I was reminded of the talking bees.
Oh, I was hoping that when I went to Universal Orlando and they have a Jurassic Park feature at the park, and I was hoping that you walk by and then like they're making dinosaurs,
like
that
real
dinosaurs, and it wasn't. I was like, man, that's kind of a letdown.
Welcome to Jurassic Park, and you're like in there and
like
dinosaurs
in
are going
the yellow Jeep. And
what a letdown!
Yeah, there was no yellow Jeeps. There was no like. Man, I was hoping. I'm like, and somebody like an old guy is like walking through and he has this staff with the little orange bulb and he's like, "This is what we use to make the dinosaur." Nothing.
You didn't even see anyone eaten by a dinosaur?
No, I was kind of like, how?
So was there a ride? Did you like look at the attraction at least?
No, because at that point when we hit Jurassic Park, the downpour hit. And there was like a big downpour.
Well, then how do you know that there's not dinosaurs there? How do you know there wasn't the guy in the Jeep?
Because we walked through the thing, but we didn't ride any of the rides.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You probably missed out on it.
Dang.
They went extinct.
Or they're extinct.
the dinosaurs went extinct.
Yeah.
Man, I've always wanted to imagine a world, like a big old island. How cool would it be, like a theme park with real dinosaurs?
We've seen the movie like 5 times. There's Jurassic Park 1, 2, 3, and then they started remaking them. Like 1 and 2. And it doesn't end good, so it would not be cool at all. Just P.S.
Well, I feel like after
There's
we
literally
would learn,
five movies about it.
How have they not learned after the 5th movie? Like, don't do this, or like, hey, we are going to change it this way.
Well, weren't the next 2 like they're connected to the first ones? I think, right? Because they're like,
it's expanding on it. The one with Chris Pratt that just came out, right?
Well, there's 2 that he's already in.
There's a second Jurassic Park that he was in. I only saw the first one.
Yeah, Eldridge says yes. I only saw the first one too, but I know there's a second one because I feel like the second one that they were previewing, they showed all the cool scenes. And I didn't never watch the movie, so maybe there's a lot more cooler. But they told the entire story of the movie where it's like, oh man, this is exactly what happens. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, I feel like I just watched the movie in this preview. Like, why would I go watch the movie now? You have to leave a little bit of like suspense, teasing.
Previews lately have just been like, I feel like I could tell the whole movie based off of the preview. But I'm a movie guy. But I feel like, I know what the movie's gonna be like.
You do? Are you like a psychic or something?
Well, I can kind of understand it. Like, if you're gonna show the whole movie basically in the preview, then yeah. Like, I like the ones where they only show like the first 30 seconds of the movie. Like not Cats, but The Secret Life of Pets.
Okay.
That trailer was like the first part of the whole movie.
That's like an old school approach to movies. That's just what they used to do. They would show like an actual like one scene from the movie, and then they would go into like a little spiel. And that's something that they did. Like I feel like in 80s movies, like even like Ghostbusters and some of those, like around that era, that was the style. Now it's like a mini production. They take it, and there's a lot of scenes that they show that don't even make the movie, like Avengers. Endgame. There was a lot of scenes that were push, like the people running, like everybody running towards, that didn't make the movie. There were scenes in Spider-Man that were in the previews that didn't make the movie. So I don't know. But at least I guess they filmed it. It just didn't make the cut of the movie because it doesn't add to the story, or, there's a time constraint, but it's a really cool scene. They want to use it.
One of the radio programs that I listened to growing up, it was a sports talk show, but every Friday they did a movie update. Like, here are the movies, and they would call a guy who knew about movies, and they would kind of give an update. We should see if we could do something like that, like just give an update on a certain movie or something like that, so that way we know what's coming up.
So, yeah, I was talking to one of my friends a while back, and he was looking at doing like a movie review for us, but, life comes at you, and it's a lot of work. It would be a lot of fun work because you get to see, like, watch movies and then talk about them, or, hey, this is coming up, and this is what's going to be good about it. I think one of the things that I've seen on the internet, there was a movie review where they would share if it was family friendly. Like, this is what you can expect, if these, have values around here, then maybe this is something you'd go see. Or if you have kids this young, they may not be ready for this because of X, Y, and Z. So I think that's stuff. I have I have kids. I have a son who's 6 years old, and those are things I take into consideration when I watch movies or TV at home. If he's there, then yeah, I got to make sure it's appropriate for him.
Yeah, that's hard because usually then you have to watch it, because you don't want to be starting to watch something and then all of a sudden it's like, well, bam, that happened.
Well, if you do, then it stinks, but you're just like, well, I got to turn this off. And it's maybe something that I'm an adult. Like, it's appropriate for me to watch because, I understand or whatever. But for him being 6 years old, it's just like, no, he doesn't need to be watching this or hear them say what they said or the context of the situation. There's all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, as a parent or somebody with kids, there's different stuff you take into account.
And I think people are starting to realize, I hope, there was a controversial stuff that happened with the Netflix show that started to go viral. I think it was like 13 Reasons or something like that, where there was like people who were imitating the show. Like, teenagers all across the country were taking their life because of and imitating what happened inside of the show. And so the show actually, I saw last week, removed the scene from the series. And I would hope, and this is maybe beyond my scope, but I would hope that people would take that into consideration in the future. Be like, okay, maybe we shouldn't show this, et cetera.
Cool. Yeah.
Hi.
I don't know.
How are you?
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff. All Netflix again. We still need Eldridge to walk around with our cell phones with the white shirt we write Netflix on and be like, hey, our Netflix documentary crew is following us. Please show some respect,
Our Netflix documentary. Hey. We do need that.
Yeah. We need to speak to city council. Oh, hey!
Oh.
How you doing?
Hi, Gardy. I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited that you're here. We had Chris Lane in talking about the Teen Biz Camp, and it kind of happened in a way that I think is really cool, where you were able to come in. You were already scheduled, and then he was like, hey, on Thursday, because have you heard about this at all?
He's told me a little bit about it.
It's pretty fun. It's inspiring kids who maybe want to learn about a business, or what does it take to start a business, or I don't know.
I own 20% of every one of those kids' company now, so
yeah, that's entrepreneurship,
right?
Letting someone else take advantage of your profits.
Exactly.
Or pay me underneath the table.
Yeah. No, I do. I think it's very cool, and Chris is always super fired up about any kind of new initiative that's good for our local kiddos.
Yeah.
But now we're going to be talking about food, and I love food.
Yeah. So here, pretend I'm not wearing the imaginary city council hat.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna. It's hard to not.
I know. There's a lot of hats.
I see
There's like a farm hat. There's a farmer's market hat.
I'm staring right at the hat right now. It's not going anywhere. So there's the Galveston Farmers Market, and me and Curt were talking about, I guess, the difference. Because he was like, well, we've been to a farmer's market before. I was like, no, I think that was like a market. But like a farmer's market, what makes a farmer's market a farmer's market?
I'm so glad you asked. So there's lots of different kinds of marketplaces, like you alluded to. A true farmer's market means that it is a marketplace that connects consumers directly to farmers, ranchers, and food makers that make their own foods, grow their own foods in a local, like a predetermined local environment. So for us at Galveston's own farmer's market, when it was started in 2012, it started as a nonprofit, had a board. They did all that official stuff and sat down and determined that 150 miles is what we determine as local, right? And local is it's just a word, right? That can mean a lot of things. But for us, it was important to create a predetermined distance, so that helps customers know that, like, okay, if we say local, that means that when you come to market, you can speak to Joe, the farmer that actually grew these carrots, and that's because he's in the area. You're actually supporting local agriculture. It's not. There's a lot of markets that pop up all over the country, and it's become more and more of a thing as farmers markets gain more popularity. Sometimes it's called greenwashing or other terms, but it refers to markets that bring produce in, but it's not necessarily local, right? Which is not a bad thing. I mean, produce is good, and creating more access is good. But for us at Galveston's own farmers market, we want you to know that if you come to the market, you are actually supporting local ag, local farmers, local business. It's not produce that we bought from Caninos in Houston that actually was grown in Mexico, and then we set it up on a table and was like, oh,
Yeah.
check out these pineapples,
Yeah.
you know? So it's all about, for us, local community-based foods and increasing access to everyone within the community.
So that market started in 2012, and you said that they're growing in popularity. Why do you think that is? Why are they growing?
Well, I think it's a couple of reasons, but I mean, number one, markets are fun. If a market is well run, it's a community space. I mean, for example, at the one at Galveston's own farmers market, every week there's live music at every market. Every Thursday, every Sunday, there's live music. There's free food and drink for folks to enjoy. There's lots of camaraderie. We invite community partners in, everyone from the public libraries to Galveston Island State Park to the police department to anyone who has a mission to do groovy things for the community. They come in and they will organize events and kids games and all kinds of stuff to interact with the community. So they're fun. They're a fun place to be, and they're free to enter. So I think you've seen them pop up a lot more in municipalities where they want to encourage more community interaction. Because and also, I think the idea is, and this is where I tend to sound sort of cynical, but it's really just that there can be this idea that it's really easy to set up a market, like, because you just pop up a few tents, invite a couple of like dirty-handed farmers over, and sell some green beans. But if you want it to thrive, particularly in an area like the Gulf Coast, where we don't really have a lot of farmers, like that's it takes a lot of consistent dedication to making sure that people are educated on why to give a hoot about buying local.
Yeah, on a consistent basis too.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, they're local businesses, so they need customers that come every week.
We're gonna go on the FM right now. Here we go.
Okay.
Good morning. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. My name's Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
It's 10:19 on a Thursday morning. This is your new morning routine. We're excited to be talking about something that is taking place really soon. I believe it's called Okra Fest.
Okra Fest! I've never had okra, so I don't know why I'm excited about it, but Okra Fest is happening.
And we have a guest. She's in studio. She's been in studio before, but
Her
we're talking
mouth
about the
is still
farmers market.
open at the fact that I haven't had okra. She's like, what?
I know. My mouth is agape that you've never had okra. We have to fix
Why is that a big deal? Like, I grew up in Nebraska. We don't have, like, seafood around us. I was telling Gardy, seafood.
You know okra's not seafood, right? Right, Curt?
Oh, I thought it was.
Okra's a vegetable.
It is?
Yeah.
Yeah, babe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So maybe this is my fault. So, okay, so before...
I don't know vegetables either.
Yeah, he doesn't know vegetables. But I was telling him that okra, I was like, it's a little ball. I mean, I eat it fried often growing up. Like, if we did like a fish fry, sometimes there would be French fries, okra, and then fish my dad caught. And that was kind of like what was up, because it's so good. It's good, and you can just pop them. My grandma would do them too.
See, you bring up fish, and then I think it's a seafood.
So that's what I did. I shared that this morning before, and so I think that's where he made that.
I'm so glad I'm here.
Uh-oh.
We need an expert. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
I'm Casey McAuliffe, and I am the executive director for Galveston's own farmers market, which is a nonprofit based in Galveston Island, but serves the county. And I also have a farm, so that's what got me, and that's what led me onto this path. I co-own Moondog Farms in Santa Fe with my husband, and we grow lots of okra. And I'm here to tell you, number one, it's delicious.
Do you have any in your purse?
I was thinking, it never occurred to me that you would think that okra was a fish or a crustacean. And now I'm like, I wish I'd brought a basket of okra. I'm so sorry.
I still probably wouldn't have ate it.
Okra
but-
Station.
Well, yeah, okra, for everyone out there, PSA, okra is not a crustacean. Okra is a delicious summer vegetable. Technically, it's a fruit. Do you guys know what
Really?
makes a vegetable versus a fruit?
Sugar.
No.
He's going to try and explain. Yeah. Can you please explain before he starts?
So, if a plant contains within itself all the seeds it needs to reproduce, like an apple, or let's see, like what are some other, like a grape,
An orange?
an orange. Those are fruits, right?
Okay.
But so by that same logic, tomatoes, right? They have their seeds inside. Cucumbers, peppers, eggplants, okra.
You're blowing my mind. Okay.
Right.
I
But we
always-
separate them into categories because sugar, sweetness does help us. Like we generally separate them into vegetables and fruit. But and also that the reason they have their seeds inside is because they're flowers that get pollinated and then the fruit is created from that flower. Okay. But that's a little mini biology lesson for you. So okra is a green pod. It comes from Africa. It came over with slaves, so several hundred years ago. And so that's why it's really prevalent in the South, right? It can grow almost anywhere in the U.S., but it tends to be in the places where there is more of slave history and just it's hot because it loves hot, wickedly hot temperatures, which is why it's so great here. We started Okra Fest a few years ago. So this is the 5th annual. I started the festival 5 years ago because the farmers market, we were still relatively young. And summer has always been the hardest time for us to get people to come out to market, right? It's always the time when we see a dip.
'Cause it's hot?
Because it's hot.
Yeah.
And so, it's hot and we're a year-round market, which is unique among farmers markets because most farmers markets across the country, due to snow and cold temperatures and whatnot, their harvests go down in the winter, right? So they close up shop. And so most markets across the country are only open for 6 to 9 months a year or whatever. But we stay open all year long. But it means that our winter is everybody else's summer. And so summertime, we have a lot of okra, we have a lot of eggplants, we have a lot of pepper, and we have a lot of basil.
Is this specifically Moondog Farms or people in general?
It tends to be the produce you see most often at market at this time of year. It's not the only thing. But we're a small market, and there's not a whole lot of farmers that grow in this area of Galveston County and grow in this area of the Gulf Coast. It didn't always used to be that way. 100 years ago or so. There's a reason that Pearland's called Pearland and Sugarland is Sugarland. I mean, there's a lot more agriculture. But, Galveston County is just like the rest of the nation in that way, that there's less farms overall. But so we have a scarcity of produce in the summer, and I thought, we really need to get people excited about the slightly less seductive crops that we have during summertime. Although I love okra, and we have customers who die for okra. They love them. We have a batch. I know my farm, a bunch of little old ladies that show up early, right on the dot when market opens, to come through and comb through the okra and find the perfect size pods. Do we need to talk about the pods? Do you even know what it looks like?
I know what it looks like. I don't know if Kurt does.
Kurt clearly doesn't.
No.
Okay, so they can be green or red. Most commonly, they're green. They are pods that range in so an okra plant can grow really tall.
Okay.
It's related to hibiscus and mallow, so think like hibiscus flowers. Do you know what a hibiscus flower looks like?
I'm just going to say no.
Okay. They can go really tall.
Okay.
And they're planted from a little round ball-like seed. And then as soon as those temperatures start to go up, they start shooting up. And they put off their stems these little pods. And they'll start out and then they'll grow. You want to harvest them before they're bigger than 4 or 5 inches, right? But we do have little old ladies that insist we harvest them at 2 and 3 inches. And they're delicious. They're eaten a lot here in the South, pickled or fried or smothered with tomatoes, just sautéed. I like them raw. I like them roasted. I like them all ways.
So raw, would you eat it as it's straight, not cut
Yeah,
up? Or
use, I like it to use it as in a dip.
Okay.
Little, hummus or some yogurt dip or whatever. Yeah.
Can you
delish.
get this at HEB or Kroger or something
In the
at the local?
summertime.
or the Galveston's own
Or
farmer
Galveston's own farmer's market. Kurt, you could go there.
So what's the benefit of buying from the farmer's market as opposed to HEB, Kroger?
Well, you're supporting local business. First and foremost, you're making a direct connection with someone who lives in your community, whose money goes right back into your community. So the farmers that you buy from, the bread makers that you buy from, the honey, the beekeepers, and all the different folks who make food and grow food and raise food, whether it's eggs, meat, okra, or sourdough, they live nearby, and they spend their money nearby. So they're all part of the same network. So there's a lot of studies that show that supporting farmers markets actually does increase your local economy. It boosts your local economy because those people are investing right back in.
Yeah.
And also, if you're someone who's even the slightest bit concerned about the kind of thing that goes in your body and how it affects you, one of the biggest benefits is you get to know the people who made your food. So, you go to the grocery store, and let's get one thing straight. I also shop at the grocery store. I'm not like some strange weirdo who only eats okra and sourdough made in the farmer's market. I eat a lot of it, but there are necessities in life that require you to go to the grocery store. I am a modern person. But there's something, it's a totally different experience because you come to the farmer's market. First of all, it's a community of people that really support each other. It's very welcoming. We have worked very hard at GoFM to make sure that every single person, regardless of who you are and regardless of your income level, regardless of your neighborhood, anything, this is your market. It's your place. And
I just heard something that I really liked. Go FM.
oh, yeah.
Because we're an FM radio station.
That's true.
So we could be like, Go FM, KHEA radio. And then secretly we're
just
like
gonna take yours,
Galveston owns Farmer Market. And people would be like,
This is sounding reminiscent of taking 20% off of those young children's businesses.
It always comes back to that for him somehow.
Some kind of grift.
Yeah.
I like it.
sorry, just piggyback off of everybody else's great ideas.
I get it.
KHEA radio.
Hey, whenever you do go to the grocery store, if you have to walk through the produce or even like walking in, are you looking over your shoulder just like one way or another and be like, is anybody
my gosh.
watching me? Or like you wear disguise?
Yeah. So during the summer, and particularly right now, like I'm pregnant, and so there's a lot less. I'll put that there. There's a lot less greens, like lettuces and stuff at the market right now, because those are vegetables that grow in the cool weather. But like I eat a ton of salads. I'm used to eating a lot of salad, a lot of lettuces and greens, and we're not growing any right now. So yes, I buy some at the grocery store. In addition to eating okra and eggplant and pepper and all the things from the market. But my husband, if he goes, he always hides them in the bag. Like he'll take all our grocery bags and like.
So yeah, if you see
hide
somebody like in there, oh hey, how you doing? They look in your car. Everyone's like, what are you getting? Like,
yeah,
hope it's not vegetables.
It's really funny, and I'm always like, well, let's be honest. It's let's be real. I don't expect everyone to buy all their groceries at the farmer's market. Anybody, including myself. But my husband gets really like antsy. He's like,
just put it at the bottom.
Yeah, and whenever we do see customers, it is funny. There'll be like this moment where they're like,
they caught me here. Yeah,
you caught me. And I'll be like, it's okay. We don't sell toilet paper at the farmer's market or ice cream. Yeah.
Yeah. But whenever we learn how to grow it, you better be visiting us. Moondog
Farms. Hashtag Moondog Farms. But at GoFM, there, I feel like it's right to toot our own horn in this way. It's a really welcoming place, and there's really good food there, and we have another reason to shop at the market is not only do you get to know exactly where your food comes from, and you can talk to the person or talk to someone deeply connected to that business who can tell you like, oh, you want to know what got sprayed on these strawberries? Let me tell you, it was a mix of compost tea and, soap when we had a bunch of aphids. Okay, that's it. And then we washed it off. You know exactly what got used to treat things for any number of reasons.
Yeah.
You know exactly how it's grown. You can talk to those people. You create a relationship, and it changes your food experience. And also, one of the things I say most often when I'm out promoting any of our programs, because the farmers market has several arms of programming, food is what connects everybody, right? Like everybody eats, and food is the common denominator. And we currently live at a time when a lot of people don't have access to really good food. And there's this feeling amongst a lot of people that like really good food or organically grown food is only for a certain kind of person. And we just push back on that constantly.
Yeah.
And the farmer's market is at its best when it's, let's say it's April and we've got strawberries and sugar snap peas and carrots and kale and lettuces and green beans and all these beautiful things at market. And there's people of all different colors, all different wallets, all different cars, like next to each other, rubbing elbows because they're reaching for that same pint of strawberries, you know, and that's when I feel really good about what we do.
Here's a question. This is from Fabi Gatlin. She said, "Hi, Casey. I missed the market in Galveston. I'm guessing she hasn't been able to come down or she lives somewhere else now. But she said, are you still doing the cooking classes? Is that something y'all did there?"
Yes, Fabi Gatlin, of course. So I mentioned that we do lots of programming. One of those is our cooking classes. So the farmers market has 4 arms of programming. We have our weekly markets, which are Thursday afternoons, 3 to 6, and Sunday mornings, 9 to noon right now. Those were like the original anchor, right? The market. And then from that grew these other things. So we had our food access program, which was when we became eligible to accept food stamps as a market. Cool. And that was like, cool, great, pat on the back. But it was like, this isn't enough. This doesn't mean that folks with less money are automatically flooding into the market. We need to do something else.
Or what do I do with it? Kurt's like, I've never seen this before. It's okra. What do
exactly.
I do with it? Yeah.
What do I do with this fish called okra? And so it's like,
wow.
We had to.
Am I ever gonna? You didn't stop me earlier.
Were you You didn't say seafood. Were you thinking of an orca, like a whale?
Maybe.
Maybe you were thinking orca. I would like everyone to know that at Go FM we do not eat killer whales.
Neither have I.
Everyone knows that Curt secretly wishes to eat Free Willy.
Orca, okra.
Why didn't you stop me when I said, did they have it at Long John Silver's?
Because I thought, like...
They might have fried okra. If what he's eaten is mostly fried okra usually gets served at seafood.
Or like gumbo.
Or in gumbo.
And like seafood gumbo, too. It may be in there. It's like a little
don't
green.
Worry. We're going to fix this.
Please,
we're going to have you guys to Okra Fest. You're going to have okra so many ways. It's going to be unbelievable. But so to help and this is a great example of like, there's sometimes this idea that, and I encounter it all the time when they're like, there's this idea that, well, it's only poor folks who don't know how to cook well, or like, you know, it's only a certain kind of person. And I'm here to tell you that it's like, it's everybody all over the place. We have a different relationship with food now that, like, once upon a time, all of us had our own backyard gardens. We grew our own food. We knew the dude who raised our cattle. We like got milk from our own cows or our neighbor. You know, we had a different relationship to food not even that long ago. Mm-hmm. And
I could see Curt trying to grow cheese as a child. Like just putting in little cubes of cheese, like a craft single, like let my garden grow.
I actually, unfortunately, as a little kid,
like that is accurate.
did it with a Cheeto, hoping to make more Cheetos.
A Cheeto tree.
And it never happened. And I would water the Cheeto
with
every
nacho
day.
cheese. Like I could see you doing that, like playing the
Little
Cheeto. Like
I would like to say that this didn't happen, but it did. It did happen, and
Baby Curt just learned a lesson.
Yeah. How long ago was that whenever we all had those gardens and like 100 years ago, 50 years
ago?
Yeah,
I would say, I mean, there was a really big national change in agriculture that, you know, has lots of moving parts, but is connected to like federal government and all kinds of initiatives and, you know, tax incentives and tariffs and all kinds of things. But, and an encouragement of farms to go big or to go home, basically.
Yeah. And we were healthier then too,
We were much healthier when we all grew our own food.
Yeah.
We were much healthier because at that time when there was this encouragement of the family farms that were all over America to either go big or go bust, we then changed to crops that are things that go into the processed foods we eat all the time, like dent corn and soy and sorghum, all these different things that get used in all the processed foods that we eat. And granted, processed foods that I love to eat too, but we eat a lot of them now. We eat a lot less of those fresh things that we used to. But I don't want to harp on that for too long. But that is all to say that there's lots of folks across the spectrum that just need some help figuring out how to eat certain things or like a little help in the kitchen. And so when we started accepting food stamps, and then we started a program called Fresh Bucks, which enabled anyone who wanted to use their food stamps at market, we would match them with $1 for every dollar they spent and free money to buy more produce for free. So if we would match you up to $15 extra. If you brought your Lone Star card and wanted to use your SNAP to buy bread, eggs, meat, olive oil, broccoli, whatever, you would also get a matching $15 from GoFM to buy more. And they never expired, and that was great. And we've had that program for almost 5 years now. And then we started a program called WIC Vouchers, which is also part of our food access program. And are you guys familiar with WIC?
A little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it
helps
stands for
with-
Women, Infants, Children.
Yes.
It's a federal program. It works similar to food stamps or to SNAP, which is the official name now. But it was, if anyone who uses WIC benefits comes to market, we can give them vouchers worth $30 to buy produce for free.
And this seems different because y'all are a nonprofit, and we've seen there's other, markets, not even necessarily farmers market, but I'm guessing they're running for profit. Are these things y'all are able to offer specifically being a nonprofit?
Yes and no. We could be a for-profit market and we could be a for-profit business and set these up, because to become a SNAP retailer, you basically just have to go through the right hoops. So like that's why the convenience store is allowed to accept SNAP and things like that. And but unfortunately, that's part of the problem in a lot of places, particularly just like say for Galveston. Lots of convenience stores, not that many accessible grocery stores. So folks who might live in a neighborhood where they don't have a car, or they have limited mobility and they can't get to a grocery store, they're going to spend their SNAP at the convenience store.
Right.
And we all know there's not a great amount of variety of
Or
fresh
produce.
food or produce at all.
Yeah.
There might be like those like kind of weird, shiny, bruised apples at the counter, but that might be it.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be a nonprofit to have those programs, but the WIC vouchers is a whole separate thing, and we work with the local county WICs. So through that program, where we started to encourage more people to come and explore the market and use these initiatives to buy better food, we realized, you know what? We need to teach folks when they come to market for the first time. They're like, hey, what's up? I got this thing. And I'll be like, great, welcome. Here's a pile of okra. And it was like, oh, we need to teach people how to use these things. So that's where our cooking classes came out of. And the cooking classes have just exploded. We started them 3 years ago, and it was a slow trickle. And now we do up to 3 cooking classes a month. And I lead most of them, but I work with a lot of local chefs to do them. And they sort of hop all around all over the place. Sometimes they're at the local WIC clinics. We do them at the Boys and Girls Club. We do them at the Kitchen Chick in Galveston, which is a really awesome gourmet kitchen store with a cooking class facility in the back.
It's an awesome place, by the way.
It is. Alicia Cahill is super generous with us and allows us to use that space. And we use Chef Mary Bass, who I know has been on here many times. She works with us all the time to do classes. Lots of local chefs and instructors that help with that. And we work with Galveston College. They're a new partner. We use their awesome culinary academy to do really groovy classes. And if anyone wants to know about the classes, they just have to visit our website. There's a whole tab for classes. And most of them are free. Some of them are a $5 reservation fee.
Mm-hmm.
And they're great. They're super fun. And we try to keep them small. There's never more than like 15 people in class, so that I am not a formal person. I like to, food is food. Let's just talk about food and let's eat good food. That's the ethos of all the classes. But and along with those, we also have our community dinners, which started at about the same time. I don't know. Are you guys familiar with the Family Service Center?
I'm not.
Is that in Galveston?
It's Galveston County, so they cover
Okay.
all of Galveston County. It's a local nonprofit that offers lots of mental health services and lots of support services for families. They are super cool. And they do these parenting series called the Incredible Years Parenting Classes. And a few years ago, I was talking to one of their organizers, and she was telling me about a class, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. What do you guys eat for dinner? Because that's always what I care about is what are you eating for dinner? And they're like, well, the budget for them is not that big, so we end up eating Pizza Hut a lot because we have to stretch it. And I was like, gross. I was like, we have to change that. And I was like, Pizza Hut is good sometimes, but also good parenting, like positive family vibes. You need some good food in there. So that started an initiative where at least once per parenting class series for them, we would bring in dinner. And that just sort of snowballed into other organizations saying, hey, I heard you provide dinner for this, or hey, could you come bring dinner to this thing? And now we have several partnerships all over Galveston County where GoFM has a
KHEA radio. Sorry.
GoFM provides dinner that is based all in local ingredients, based on what's seasonally available at the market. And we come and we show up and we provide food and we talk about good food and cool things. And it's great.
Where is it located? Galveston's own farmers market.
Currently, we are at the Bryan Museum, which is 1315 21st Street in Galveston. It's at Avenue M and 21st. It used to be, it's this beautiful, beautiful building, and a man named J.P. Bryan came to Galveston and bought the building that used to be with the original orphanage on the island. So it's this gorgeous old historical building, and they completely refurbished it. It's done so well, and it has these gorgeous grounds, gorgeous gardens. They do a lot of weddings and events there too, so it's just it's beautiful, very elegant. And a couple years ago, JP called me up and said, "Casey, I'd love for you to have the market over here." And he was very kind, because before that, we were set up in a pretty dusty, crumbly parking lot on Post Office Street. That was our original location at Post Office and 25th, and it was good to us for years, but we had outgrown it, and so we moved over to the Bryan.
So Okra Fest, can you tell me when it is, what time and everything, and then what can somebody expect if they've never been to Okra Fest?
Okay. Apart from it not being a whale.
Wow.
Orca Fest.
Yeah.
That may be a real thing somewhere.
Oh,
I'm sure
I've
it
been
is.
trying to tag that, and I keep going KHEA Fest, and there's an R there.
Yes.
There's an R.
Sorry.
Oka. They were saying
Okra Fest, OKRA Fest. So Okra Fest, the 5th annual Okra Fest, is a party where we celebrate local foods, we celebrate happy community, eating well. It's got, okay, so this year if you buy your ticket, you can either buy a VIP ticket and have the fancy treatment for the first hour, and you get your own fancy cocktails and past hors d'oeuvres. You get this sweet little Okra Fest pin that we're giving out this year. You get treated real special. Or you can buy a general admission ticket, which is $40 if you buy it now, $50 if you wait till closer. And upon entering, it's in the beautiful Garden Verein building on the island. I don't know if y'all have ever been there. It's this property managed by Galveston Historical Foundation, and it's beautiful. It was the original German beer garden dance hall on the island. It was built by German immigrants who came in the 1800s. And so it's this beautiful octagonal building that's designed for dance and merriment. And so you walk in, we have Kevin Anthony and G-Town, which is a really popular local band who will be playing throughout. Daiquiri Timeout, which is a really popular craft cocktail bar on the island. They're doing great cocktails for the event that are all utilizing local ingredients. Galveston Island Brewing will be there. They have beer they've donated. And then the big, big, big highlight is obviously okra. And we invite local chefs and restaurants that we really respect and think do a great job of making cuisine to come out and show off their skills and feature okra in a way that they think is the best. So we have Benno's, which is obviously a beloved institution. They'll be doing some pretty classic gumbo with okra and things like that.
We've been to Ben. That's where I had
We've
crawfish.
had their gumbo. We've had their gumbo. So there would most likely be the okra in there, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
yeah, and they'll.
We
they're
had
doing a
Benno's
few-
crawfish that's where I had crawfish
It's a
for
great
the
place
first
to go
time.
for crawfish. Benno's is wonderful.
A year ago when I had crawfish for the first time in my life.
What did you think of crawfish?
Never again.
Not a mud bug fan.
I'm not a fan of things that move before
They
I eat
weren't.
it.
Oh, I was like, they weren't. That's not.
So he's a Cheeto-tarian. He's still
You're-
fingers crossed for that Cheeto tree to grow.
Cheeto and cheese. I mean, the cheese doesn't move.
That's true. Cheese doesn't move. That's
At one
true.
point, it
I mean,
was
it
part
should-
of something that moved.
It was
but
part of something. That's true. Okay, see, it has to be once removed at least.
once removed.
Okay.
So hamburgers.
The rules change. Like with anybody. So the goalposts change. The
moving.
goal, yeah.
So Benno's Soul to Soul Cafe, which is a terrific soul food restaurant on the island.
We love
Weta Cook, right? Miss Cook?
Weta Cook.
Oh.
My queen. I love Weta. She is going to offer. She was part of it last year. It was so popular though. We had to institute new rules to make sure that everyone doesn't just go back to Weta over and over again and clean her out of food before everyone else gets to it, because she offered her fried ribs and this awesome okra succotash with corn and roasted tomatoes. She's going to do something similar this year. She had to bring back fried ribs. It wouldn't have been right to not have them. They were too popular.
Just good macaroni and cheese too. And I know Kurt. I remember we tore it
The
up.
oxtails.
We've
Her
eaten
soul
everything
food is
there.
amazing.
It's very
I
good.
had the nerve to ask her where oxtails come from.
He's like, well, where'd you get the ox? And then he was like trying to use his fork and knife, and she was like, just stop. Listen to me. She's like, pick it up with your hand. And
There's just so many things that
Soulful, dude.
I was a sheltered kid.
You're learning.
I had Cheetos every day for dinner. That was it.
This is a culinary education. I'm
Yes. I've learned a
glad. So
lot.
Weta will be there. Chef Mary Bass and Mr. Mary's Barbecue. So her husband Tim is going to be there. They're doing pulled pork with all kinds of delicious things. Okra involved. I'm not going to give it all away. But they'll have a vegan and a carnivore option. And then Fish Company Taco. Have y'all been to Fish Company Taco?
Have not.
Oh, get thee to Fish Company Taco. It is such a delicious restaurant. Chef Dea Myers-Hertz, she used to live on the island several years ago, then moved away. She is such an accomplished chef. It's a lot of fish tacos, obviously, but it is just like delicious comfort food wrapped in this like gourmet fancy pants package that just is the perfect combo. Everything she makes is delish. She'll be there creating all kinds of food. Who else? We have one of our vendors, Splendid Life Cake Bar, a woman named Megan Clark. She's creating a lot of desserts. And then Brian Pepper of Pepper Productions. He used to be the head chef for a restaurant that's no longer around called Ocean Grill. And he's creating all kinds of stuff, including an olive oil ice cream with candied okra.
Candied okra? What's candied okra?
You're going to have to find out.
August 3rd.
August 3rd. It's from VIP hour starts at 6 o'clock. General admission is at 7. 7 to 11. There's silent auction and a raffle, but lots of really good food, really good drink, and lots of good times, dancing. It's a really fun time, and all of the money goes back into Galveston's own farmers market to help us support our programming.
My question is, you have a ticket to get in, and then are you purchasing food from each of the vendors, or you get like a little sample? How does it work?
Oh, that's a good question. So your entry fee, or your ticket gets you in and gets you access to all of the good food and everything that's there.
So you can eat everything.
Everything.
You're good to
There's
go.
no limit. You get a little card when you walk in, and this was due to the Weta cook problem of everyone just helping after helping of fried ribs. So what we're gonna do is when you come in, you get a little card, and it'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when you go to your table, when you go to the tables that are serving food, there will be a little okra and an ink pad there for you to use your okra and stamp your card so that we know you've been there once. And then after everyone's had a first helping, then we'll say,
okay, you get your second
ollie
and third
ollie
stamp.
oxen free, go for it, and
knock it all out.
Yeah. So it's easy. It's laid back. It's one of my favorite things that we do all year because we see a lot of people who really don't come to market at all, really that much, but always come to Okrafest because they just think it's a really fun party with good food.
It's different.
Yeah, it's a different and there's not a lot of groups in the area that do the kinds of things that we do. The only other program I didn't talk about was like our Young Gardeners program, which has taken off so much in the last 2 years, where we work with kids all over Galveston Island, and in the coming years it'll be on the mainland as well, building gardens at schools where kids learn how to grow their food, and they take food home they grew every week.
Mm-hmm.
And your money, your ticket at Okrafest helps support that program and helps us grow so that we'll keep going. And it's fun. Plus you eat really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody loves food.
Everybody loves food.
Well, you need it. And then it's a great way to get to know people. We have a lot of meetings where you eat and you can learn a lot about someone, about what they order. It's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, sharing a meal with someone can be magic, right? I mean, but it automatically gives you something to connect over, even if you don't have anything else to connect over.
Yeah.
When someone's buying for me, that changes things.
Absolutely.
Do you like them more?
I'm going to get, more expensive stuff
Oh,
than when I
I
have to do it.
I see.
No,
I see.
it doesn't work that way?
Well, no. It can. It can. That's funny. So we have about 8 minutes left. We're talking about Galveston's own farmers market. There is an event that's going on called Okrafest. Whenever you were talking about the fish tacos, it took everything in me not to. It's pretty obvious, I think.
The taco cook-off, right?
Well, yeah, there's that. I'll let you take that so I don't say
Okay.
the other one. I'm sorry.
What were you going to say?
Oh, we know what it is.
Okra tacos. Is that what I was going to say? What she could.
Oh, that would
We
be
just
awesome.
need those,
The
those
whale
killer whale
taco.
okra tacos.
Man, if somebody comes to the taco cook-off and brings a whale taco, whew.
I really want to put it out there again for everyone listening and watching that we do not serve endangered species at this festival, which is on August 3rd. But we
No okra
no
tacos will be served.
no orcas, but
No
lots of okra.
Oh, I can't even.
I know
without
you
saying-
can't. I can barely
and,
say
and
it.
also, there's lots of people out there who love okra and plenty who don't. And I just want to say again, for those who don't, there is lots to eat at Okra Fest that is not okra centric. But if you are an okra lover, there's also.
I feel like we need to redesign the logo for this festival where there's a whale eating an orca.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
to make it clearer that
To
there
make it
are no
clear.
killer whales.
There are no killer whales here.
Yeah.
No? Am I just the only one?
Yeah.
Oh, can I tell everybody how they can get a ticket?
Yes.
All right. So if you want a ticket to Okra Fest, you can wait until the day of and show up at the events at Garden Variety. And you can find all this on our website, galvestonsownfarmersmarket.com/okrafest. But if you want to save a little money, you can either buy them in person at any of our markets, which, like I said, are Thursdays 3 to 6 p.m. at the Bryan Museum today, and Sundays 9 to noon. Or you can go on our website and buy them via the link there. And you can also get the VIP tickets there, too. So
Awesome. It's going to be a fun time. And this is the 5th year?
Mm-hmm.
The 5th year that it's been going on. What do you see happening in the next, 5 years from now? How is Okra Fest going to look? Totally different or the same ideas?
I think people love Okra Fest so much, and they balk if we change too much. Like I've had some people, because as Go FM, KHEA Radio,
KHEA Radio.
grows in size, and as we expand a lot of our programming to come more and more onto the mainland and do more and more things, we need more money. We have more employees. I manage more employees now. So there's been some amount of pressure to say, like, turn Okra Fest into, like, this huge gala that has really expensive tickets and all that. And I really push back on that because its roots, the people who come, I like that, $50 itself, can be kind of a chunk of change for some folks. And I sort of feel like that's at our top end. And so I don't think Okra Fest itself will grow in grandeur, not necessarily, but it will continue to grow. Like eventually I'd love to see even more restaurants, so it's like a food hall. When you come in, there's so many options to try.
Like George R. Brown. It could be like packed out. Think about all the vendors. That'd be a lot of fun.
It would be fun. And then it also means we'll probably develop some other kind of food-centric event that helps us raise even more money. So,
What's next?
I mean, it might have to be Orca Fest. I'm not sure. We might have to partner with,
I'm trying to think, can we do this without people getting upset?
No.
You really can't do anything these days without somebody getting upset.
You can't
So
eat killer whales probably without making anyone upset. I'm going to go
But
ahead
I feel
and...
like, it just goes in that category where people are like, yeah, okay. Like, they know that they're wrong, but they're still going to be wrong. Like, it goes in that category. No?
I'm upset.
Let's just stick to tacos. Let's just stick to tacos.
Tacos are something that people will not get upset about, I don't think, but...
Tacos are universally loved.
Are you going to be
Love.
bringing a taco to the taco cook-off?
I need to know more about the Taco Cook-Off.
It's happening right here in Lamarck. See, this is what we need. We need the city of Lamarck to just start blasting. They
Taco.
They are this is the home to the first ever nationwide taco cook-off. There is not one in the entire country. We've looked for a cook-off like this, and there isn't one. And it's tacos. It's just like a barbecue cook-off, but instead it's tacos. There's 4 categories: beef, chicken, seafood, and
Okra.
chef's choice.
Oh, sorry. I was confused.
And so you can bring a taco, $100. It's not bad, so anybody can enter.
Okay.
And it's held right here on our campus, and it's benefiting the United Way of Galveston County mainland. And so it's an opportunity for people to come, have fun, learn about tacos, enter to win. There's prizes involved. So
When is it?
It's October 12th, the day, the weekend before Bayou Fest. So plenty of opportunity to come. So the city of Lamarck, just start blasting. Like, you're home to the first ever nationwide Taco
It's true.
cook-off.
It is true.
We
I feel
did
so
look.
ignorant. I apologize. I've had okra on the brain. Okra and budget workshops have been
So
my world.
next
lately.
city council meeting, We expect you to pause and be like, okay, if you haven't shared out the Talk of Taco, if you have not signed up to be a cooking team on the Talk of, get involved. Let's go, because this is something that the city of Lamarck should be proud of.
Well, some of them do know. We've talked to some people, and we're excited to especially, because we started talking to some people, and they were like, do it here, do it there, do it over where. There's a lot of places we could go. And so it made a lot of sense to do it here. Plus, we wanted to keep it in Lamarck.
I'm so glad.
Because, we love Texas City and 6th Street, but there's a lot of stuff. And especially at that time, they have so many cool stuff that's going on already. We're like, hey, let's spread it out, because there's other stuff that we can offer here in Lamarck as well. So we're excited to be able to do that.
Lamarck is a groovy place, and this is a good spot for it.
Yes,
sure.
We're expecting 600 cooking teams.
Okay.
It'll make us bigger than the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. So that's our goal.
For the first year.
First
Bigger
year.
than the rodeo. I think it's 100. I think it's a reasonable goal.
I think so too.
Completely
reasonable. Think so. If the city council had a team, can you imagine?
That's a pretty good idea.
Or I know I see that Tink tuned in for a little bit. Tink could have the city of Lamarck team. Think of the fun that would be, where you have to be like, okay, now I have to work with these people to come up with the best taco. Like, I feel like this is community.
You know how I feel about food and community.
Right?
It connects us all. So
it does.
Taco Cook-Off, October 12th.
Tacos are magic.
All right.
Sure. You guys love tacos.
Oh, we love tacos. Somebody the other day, and then we can sew this show up, but somebody walked by me the other day and said, wow, you look fat from all those tacos, and then just kept walking. And I'm like, so I made a post in the Taco group, and I said, I wasn't going to have tacos tonight, but because of you, sir, I'm having 5.
That'll show him.
That will show him.
That will show him.
He learned his lesson. So
revenge.
We're out of time. Can you remind everybody one more time how they can learn about GoFM and possibly purchase tickets to the Okra Fest?
Yes. I encourage you to visit Galveston'sOwnFarmersMarket.com to learn more about the market and all of our programs, and specifically visit the Okra Fest tab at the top of the page. And you can read all about Okra Fest and see the chefs and restaurants that are contributing, all of the drink options, the silent auction, everything that's going to go down on August 3rd from 7 to 11. And it's going to be a great night.
Hey, we have this may be some breaking news. Tink Jackson, this is a comment, said, I'll cook the taco meat if Councilwoman will bring the fixins.
Oh, my word. It's a date.
Okra taco.
It's a date.
Awesome. So, City of Lamarck.
And I got to, it is October 12th?
12th.
That's going to be right before I'm due. I have a feeling gorging on tacos is going to sound really good to me.
When are you due?
So, November 13th, but the doctor keeps telling me that I'm measuring 2 weeks early. So I'm hoping for a Halloween baby. My favorite holiday. That would be so great. So either way, I'll be hungry for tacos. And Tink.
Exciting.
It's a partnership. It's a match made in heaven.
All right, so we get that Eventbrite link. Go find the event on Facebook if you need to. If you are interested in being a cook-off team, it's $100. Yeah. You get a chance to enter in. You get 4 categories, and it's going to be a great time. We are doing first, second, and third in each category, and then an overall champion as well.
Mm-hmm. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. Coming up next, we have Bethel with Starlight. Stay tuned to KHEARadio.com or 99.5 FM. Tomorrow, we're going to have an awesome show.
Yeah, we're going to be talking to the United Way of Galveston County Mainland, one of their partners, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and again, Taco Cook-Off.
All right, Facebook. See you guys.
Bye.